Professional counselor Laura Morse.
People may experience mood disorders because they have difficulty going to sleep when they have elevated temperatures, can increase irritability and agitation.
She says it sometimes leads to isolation and depression. When will we see a cool down? WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast that comes your way at 12:05. We have new information on a shooting in Cobb County. We told you about it yesterday afternoon. A young boy injured along Paget Drive near Austell. He was shot. Cobb County Police today saying that they have now arrested 3 juveniles. The investigation is ongoing. This just in, the FBI finds more than $5 million in drugs after searching several homes around Metro Atlanta so far. The FBI saying more than 20 people have been arrested, but more could be charged. They believe those involved in the operation were funneling the drugs into central Georgia. This is New at Noon. Family members of the Hispanic journalist Mario Guevara speaking out today about his continued immigration detention during a news conference at the state capitol. His daughter this afternoon, Catherine, saying they feel stuck in a nightmare.
Since he's been detained, our family has felt an emptiness that we cannot begin to fill.
Guevara was arrested while covering a protest in DeKalb County, but the charges against him were dropped. Attorneys for ICE have appealed a judge's bond order, so he remains in a South Georgia detention facility for now. And we have reached out to ICE and the Department of Homeland Security for comment, but so far we have not heard back. A woman who was arrested just outside of Pittsburgh, accused of being an imposter nurse, has ties to Georgia. Investigators allege 39-year-old Shannon Womack used 20 aliases and 7 social security numbers to get jobs at numerous locations in Western Pennsylvania over the last 5 years. Police say she's not a licensed healthcare provider. Pennsylvania State Trooper Rocco Gagliardi.
The investigation showcased Womack was using the identification and nursing certifications from 4 different confirmed nurses from southern states.
And police say the alleged imposter nurse worked at healthcare facilities from Georgia to Connecticut over many years. Police say they found numerous identifications in her car during a routine traffic stop. The city of Roswell joining Alpharetta and Roswell by installing technology to speed up emergency response times.
Every traffic signal in Roswell will soon be outfitted with technology from Alpharetta-based Applied Information.
This system gives emergency vehicles like fire trucks a green light while bringing cross traffic at the intersection safely to a halt.
That explainer video on Roswell social media outlines the way crews use wireless technology to trigger a signal as they approach an intersection. It reduces the risk of crashes to make these instances safer for everyone, and most importantly, speeds up response times when every second counts in an emergency. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Cobb County Commissioners will hold their final public hearing and vote tonight on a proposed $1.3 billion budget. The plan keeps property taxes flat, includes employee raises of 2 to 5%, and adds $18 million to the general fund. The vote comes after commissioners managed to erase a projected $7 million deficit. They credit stronger than expected property tax growth and lower health care cost. And a new study this noon, led by researchers at Georgia State University, finds a large majority of e-cigarette users are modifying their devices, often in dangerous ways.
The study, led by Associate GSU Professor Lucy Popova, indicates users make changes to their devices that can result in harm.
Changes to e-cigarettes that the manufacturers actually plan for, like replacing a coil that is designed to be replaced, and also modifications that are not designed, like adding a different substance to e-liquid.
Popova says education is key, urging those who put information on the web need to include warnings about these modifications. Lisa Nicholas, 95.5 WSB.
Trader Joe's planning to open 30 new stores, according to a posting on its website. The new locations will span 17 states, including here in Georgia. New locations set to open in Peachtree City at 258 City Circle sometime later this year. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's up 36 at 44,359. NASDAQ is down. So is the S&P. Time now for live team coverage, traffic and weather. Here is Alex Williams with a look at your roads.
Just found new trouble in Sandy Springs heading toward Roswell, Sabrina. It's a crash 400 northbound just past Northridge Road, exit number 6. Looks like only 2 left lanes are open. Delays quickly stacking up there. Might want to think about using Highway 9 as an alternate. Also in Sandy Springs, don't forget about that right lane construction. 285 westbound, the outer loop passing Roswell Road, exit number 25. And a crash pushed off to the right in Norcross, 85 northbound at Beaver Ruin Road, exit number number 102. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Time now for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon with a high of 95. That's trending about 5 degrees above average for today. And an isolated shower or thunderstorm can't be ruled out over towards Gainesville, Lawrenceville, and Athens. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, breezy, and trending cooler with a high of 86. A few scattered rain showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow afternoon. Thursday, partly cloudy, breezy with a high of 87. Friday and Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
More news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. Delighted to have you with me today. I will start with, I guess, the big news is my wife's scans went well. Thanks for the prayers. She's been under the weather badly for the last number of days, got real dehydrated. It's one of the side effects of the chemo she's on, and so she is getting some fluids. I dropped her off at the hospital, was there with her this morning, came to the studio to do the show. I'll go back and get her. We stayed at a hotel last night, so I'll go pick her up from the hotel and get her home this afternoon. But the scans were great. Thanks for the prayers, the kind well wishes from so many people. While I was with my wife this morning at the hospital, Cory Booker put up on Twitter, put up an Instagram reel. And there's no words, it's just music. And it's pictures of Hispanic migrant workers picking crops. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that they actually refer to these people as crop pickers. You see asparagus coming up from the ground. Think the invisible hands. Juan, crop picker. Armando, crop picker. Alonzo, crop picker. Liborio, crop picker. Oscar, crop picker. Roman, crop picker. Reyes, crop picker. Abraham, crop picker. And then they put the asparagus in a bucket that they've got satcheled to their side and go on about it. And I kid you not, the Democrats have gone from cotton pickers to crop pickers, and it's the same thing. They want a serf underclass in this country picking crops. Why don't they just be honest about it? You know, the concern has never been about migrants coming into this country and picking crops for cheap so we don't have to pay $10 for asparagus. It's about the illegal aliens coming into the country and doing it for money under the table. And the Democrats want the illegal aliens to come into the country and serve as their serfs, to serve as their crop pickers. Cory Booker, he tweeted this video out and he says, "The hands that feed us, we see you. We fight to protect you." Cory Booker is not fighting to protect the Americans who've been murdered by illegal aliens. He's fighting to protect the murderers. Cory Booker is not fighting to protect the victims of crime from illegal immigrants. He's fighting to protect the criminals. Cory Booker is not fighting to protect the legal migrants who want to come here and work in the fields. Cory Booker is protecting the illegal aliens taking their jobs. That's what the Democrats always do. It's been, 150 some odd plus years since the Civil War and the Democratic Party, and now a black Democrat wants someone out there picking the cotton for him for cheap. You can take the country away from the Democrats. You cannot take the Democrats out of the slave supporting class. It's just wild to see the Confederates in Congress who want this. Cory Booker wants this underclass. Cory Booker, he's not trying to distinguish between legal and illegal aliens. We have migrant farm worker programs. We have an entire visa program. It's not what it used to be. It requires some compliance. Cory Booker could be fighting to streamline compliance for migrant workers coming into this country for harvest season. He could do that, but he's not. He just doesn't want illegal aliens deported. You know, there's some twisting and spinning going on right now in America over the polling about Donald Trump and immigration. And it depends on how you ask the question. So Donald Trump is not popular on the issue of immigration. Now, follow along with me here, people. Before you start screaming at me about the polling, just follow along with me here. I'm trying to make you smarter. When you actually survey people, even focus group people, Donald Trump doesn't do well on immigration, but you know where he does great? When you ask him about border security. When you ask people about deportation of illegal aliens, he polls favorably. It's a trick question. When you ask Donald Trump about, when you ask people about Donald Trump and immigration, there's a deep frustration across constituencies over dealing with actual immigration, including legal immigration, and streamlining it and making it easier for people to get into the country who are trying to do it the legal way. There actually is an effort in this country to make it easier for people to come into the country legally, and yet both parties, Democrat and Republican alike, are struggling over that particular issue. They don't particularly like to work together to make that system more efficient. They don't particularly want to improve the migrant worker system that most Americans recognize we need. And that's why the president, the Republicans, the Democrats, Joe Biden, they all poll poorly on immigration, because it's a broader issue than illegal immigration. When you narrow the polling down to illegal immigration, Donald Trump has majority approval in this country. When you narrow the polling down to border security, Donald Trump has even higher approval, because you see the people who voted for Donald Trump want the illegal aliens deported. It's a mythology based on how you ask the question that a lot of people have concluded, oh, people really don't want the illegal immigrants deported. No, people actually want the illegal immigrants deported. The only people who don't are the Democrats, who want an underclass of serfs in this country to take care of their grandmother, dust their countertops, fold their laundry, mow their grass, and pick their crops. And notice, I want to call your attention to those of you who are very defensive about this. I want to call your attention to a couple of things here. One, you don't hear the Democrats talking about abuse of illegal aliens from employers. Remember, they found a group of kids working in a slaughterhouse, underage kids who had come across the border without their families, were working in a slaughterhouse. Where the Democratic calls for investigation of these businesses, they simply don't exist. You have a group of Democrats who are defending illegal aliens taking the jobs of migrant harvesters who then go back to Mexico. The illegal aliens tend to stay here. Where are the Democrats expressing outrage about the illegal aliens taking the jobs of the Hispanic legal alien migrant class that wants to do the work? You don't hear that outrage. You just consistently don't hear the outrage of the Democrats when it comes to protecting the legal aliens. You only hear their outrage, like with Cory Booker, for when the president tries to deport the illegal aliens. There are no calls for investigation of abuse in the ag industry. There are no calls for fixing and expediting the migrant worker program. There are no calls for prioritizing legal migrants over illegal migrants in this country. You don't hear any of that from the Democrats. It's just outrage over the deportation of illegal aliens, because the Democrats don't really care about the legal migrants, because the legal migrants, and this is the dirty little secret, the legal migrants, under the immigration laws that allow in this cyclical program, they have to be paid at least the minimum wage. The illegal aliens can get paid under the table in cash for less than minimum wage, and it's still, for many of them from their countries, a lot of money. It's absolutely true. If we move the system to the jobs that would to a level of pay Americans would take, it would cause all the prices to go up. It's absolutely true, but a lot of Americans don't really want to do this work unless they're paid a lot more money than what farmers are willing to pay because of the price of agriculture going up. There was a story the other day I saw, it was highlighted by some MAGA activists, of a farmer talking about all the Americans who are now coming to pick the crops and how great it was, and we're putting Americans back to work. But then when you actually got further into the story, talking about how much more money they're having to pay and what it's going to do to the price of the crops, and they don't know if it's sustainable. And everybody who was circulating all this stuff kind of left that part out. There is an army of migrant workers from Central and South America who would love to come into this country seasonally, pick crops, and return home. We have a visa program for it. We used to have a really easy program. As I mentioned ad nauseum in the past, Lyndon Johnson killed the program for the labor activists and unions back in the 60s. We have a program, though, still. We should get Congress to fund more people to process the visa requests for the migrants who want to come pick crops. You don't hear the Democrats, by the way, just making that point. This is, I think, one of the great frustrations of the American people generally now with Congress is no one wants to do incremental approaches in Congress. You don't want to just take this one thing, okay, let's pass a budget resolution that adds more workers to the bureaucracy to process these the paperwork so we can get the migrants to legally come into the country and then process them back out of the country when they're done. Nope, we don't hear Democrats do that. We don't really even hear Republicans doing that. Everybody wants comprehensivism or not, as opposed to incrementalism, which is what works better in the country. But it is wild to me, and it's profoundly disappointing, honestly, to see the number of Democrats who constantly on television, in radio, on the floor of the United States Congress, on social media, advocating and agitating for an underclass of serfs to pick their crops. And they take the side of the illegals, not the legal migrants. They take the side of the illegal aliens, not the legal aliens. They take the side of the illegal aliens, not the citizens. They take the side of the illegal aliens, not the resident aliens. They always take the side of the illegal aliens. And Cory Booker sees no irony at all as a Democrat, given the history of his party, highlighting what they're now calling crop pickers instead of cotton pickers, because in the video they're picking asparagus instead of cotton in the South. And how we see you and we're going to protect you. It's what the Democrats said before the Civil War to the slave. We're going to protect you from those Yankees by keeping you enslaved in the fields without rights where you can be abused and taken advantage of. You notice Cory Booker's not out there calling for better oversight and immigration protections and civil rights for the illegal immigrants. He just wants cheap cotton. He wants cheap maids. He wants cheap lawn service. It's all about the money for Cory Booker and the Democrats. They want it cheap. I want it cheap too, but I want it legal, and they don't care. You know, we could get rid of the minimum wage in this country. They don't want to do that either. That would bring down prices. Bring down wages. It'd bring down prices. It would incentivize hiring high school kids. You know, when they kept elevating the minimum wage, what it's done is it's priced high school kids out of getting jobs. If you got to pay $20 an hour to someone, why don't you pay the retiree who's got a good work ethic and job skills and a resume as opposed to the high school kid who's just starting out? We've deprived high schoolers of good skills because of the increase of the minimum wage, and now we're depriving legal aliens to this country of jobs because the Democrats have decided to offset it with the support of illegal aliens. It's not sustainable, y'all. It's just not sustainable. And the President of the United States is engaged in massive deportations, even within the agriculture sector, and they've gone slower there than elsewhere. And they are prioritizing the gangbangers. They are prioritizing the criminal element, despite what the media says. The media keeps making stuff up. I got another story in the stack of stuff we'll get to in a little while, where the media ran another salacious story about a guy being kidnapped by ICE, and it turns out it's not true. This is the second time in a week the media has highlighted a false story about deportations because the Democrats don't want illegal aliens deported. They need an underclass in this country that they can use, abuse, and discard. The Democrats treat illegal immigrants like fetuses. That, my friends, is a massive problem in this country, as more and more the Democrats in this country are just transactional when it comes to all lives. They want some transactional benefit without actually caring for the life. They don't care for the illegal immigrants. If they did, they wouldn't want them to be illegal. They just want their labor, and they don't care about the outcome or the abuse. And we know it because they're not calling for any reform, laws, legislation, or oversight. They just want cheap cotton.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1221 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Crash in Sandy Springs heading toward Roswell. Looks like maybe down to just a right lane block, 400 northbound past Northridge Road, exit 6. You're seeing brake lights starting back around the North Springs MARTA station. Heads up in Cobb County. Got a crash on Sandy Plains Road eastbound at Piedmont Road, blocking a right lane, causing some brake lights there. Traffic brought to you by Sam's Club. There's still time to enjoy locked-in summer value at Sam's Club till July 22nd. Prices are held on over 1,000 items. Join now and make the most of summer, so sign up for a membership at samsclub.com/join. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Is your summer vacation going to be a week at the beach?
Oh, yeah!
That week at the beach could be yours if you win $1,000 on $1,000 Thursdays.
That's awesome!
It's $1,000 Thursdays on WSB.
Your chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Thursdays.
Listen for the
I just
keyword
put the keyword in, and my God.
at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app.
Oh, my word!
Get all the info at WSBRadio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays this Thursday,
From 95.5 WSB.
where Atlanta wins.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. And when we're talking about our health, level with your providers. If you think you have a problem, we all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now while you still have options.
Heavy rain can significantly impact your septic system by saturating the soil and causing backups in your home. I'm Shannon, owner of Scorpion Septic. We can help. My licensed, insured, experienced team responds 24/7 with upfront pricing and high-quality work.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump-out charge with your repair. Details online.
ScorpionSepticServices.com. It's Eric, and one of the questions I get asked all the time is, Erickson, where do I get a computer? I don't want to worry about the setup and all the tech support stuff. Y'all, you go to Vision Computers. Call them at 404-COMPUTE. Listen, when you call Vision, you're not getting stuck in a maze of hold music or menus. They answer the phone 15 seconds on average. That's right, 15 seconds. Real people, real help, real fast, right when you need it. And here's the part I love. You got an older computer, you got programs you rely on. Maybe QuickBooks or a niche software for your small business. You're afraid a new computer means losing it all or spending days doing transfers. Vision Computers got you covered. As long as your software is supported in Windows 11, they can move all your programs from your old computer to the new one efficiently, safely, and fast. It's like handing off all the hassle to someone who's an expert and knows what they're doing. So if you're thinking your old computer is fine but slowing down, maybe time for a new one. Call 404-COMPUTE today. That's 404-COMPUTE. Let Vision Computers take care of everything. You're never going to want to buy a computer another way.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Many retailers use a computer program to tell you which mattress to buy after answering a few questions. That's not how finding the right mattress works. At OMF, our associates take the time to understand your specific needs. They'll guide you through our showroom, explain the differences between models, and help you select the right mattress. No computers, no gimmicks, just personal attention and quality mattresses built locally. Visit any showroom and experience the OMF difference for yourself.
It's your money. Get it sooner. All you need is direct deposit with a checking or savings account at Coosa Valley Credit Union. This is Andy Harris, president of Coosa Valley Credit Union. Not only can you get your money sooner, but we believe in kinder banking where you deal with real people in person. So come see us.
Dave Baker for Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Looking for a new truck and looking for a great deal? Simply go to beavertoyotacumming.com/Dave's Deals and save money on a new Toyota Tundra. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming is the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
It's the Eric Erickson Show.
I just retweeted, if you follow me on Twitter at EW Erickson, I just retweeted a video. I don't actually think you should watch it. Just know that it exists. An American citizen who is Druze went to Syria to visit his family. Now that the Syrian government has fallen, he presumed it was safe to go. This video was taken by the soldiers who rounded them up, this Druze family, including the American citizen, marched them single file down the street to a wall and put bullet holes in them. An American citizen has been killed in Syria, murdered by allies of the Syrian government because he's Druze, as the Islamic captors scream Allah Akbar. This is becoming a genocide. And it's one that is now costing the lives of Americans who have gone to Syria. First of all, you shouldn't go to Syria, but secondly, this is not good stuff. And you notice nobody in the media cares about it. All they scream is that the Jews are committing genocide in Gaza, which they're not. Here's an actual genocide happening. Notice how quiet the international media is because the Jews are not complicit. They can't find yet a way to blame the Jews and Israel. And this genocide is happening while the world does nothing because Israel's not involved in it. If someone started a rumor that Israel was behind the extermination of the Druze in Syria, maybe the world would care. It's remarkable watching these two different stories happen, the fake one in Gaza, the real one in Syria, and the one that everybody's worked up about. Just absolutely staggering to me to see that. When we come back, I got to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, the story that won't go away. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, said he is shutting down the House of Representatives and sending everybody home because they had the votes to vote on a resolution to release all the Epstein stuff, and he doesn't want it voted on, so he's shutting down the House of Representatives. We'll get to that and Trump's calls to arrest and prosecute Barack Obama when we come back. First, I got to tell you about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. You can get 3 of them. You can save $200. They came in handy last night. Stayed at a hotel. Don't want to say what, nice hotel. But we stayed in this hotel has some like apartment hotel rooms. And there was clearly, it had a very mildewy smell in the room. They probably why they had the air conditioner. Literally, the air conditioner was set to 45 degrees. I didn't even know a thermostat could be set to 45 degrees. This one digitally says it was. It was freezing. It was 59 degrees in the hotel room when we walked in last night. When we turned up the air because we were freezing, you could start to smell the mildew a little bit. But I had the Eden Pure Thunderstorm, fired it up, and it took out the odor. EdenPureDeals.com is the website. You put in Eric3, ERICK3, like I do. You can keep one in your travel bag. It just works. You can plug it into a wall, plug it up with a USB cord, and it wipes out odors. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Eric3, ERICK3. The website, EdenPureDeals.com. Get 3 of them, save $200.
More local news.
While seen at a Covington Walmart after an employee.
More traffic.
85 South out of Brookhaven, crowded beginning past Claremont.
More weather.
The Sunnyside community may have been impacted by this tornado.
Atlanta's morning news.
Tomorrow morning
This
at
is
5.
a complicated, controversial subject.
Wake up with 95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta starts its day.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News.
Weather.
Traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. A homicide investigation is underway after a man's body is found outside of a church. Somebody passing by Cannon United Methodist Church on Webb Gin House Road found the body in the parking lot around 6 this morning and then called police.
Upon arrival, officers located a Hispanic male believed to be in his 20s and was found with at least one gunshot wound.
That's Sergeant James Lawson with Gwinnett Police. He says they believe that this is an isolated incident and not connected to the church. Police working to identify the man and any possible suspects. This news update brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. Dangerous heat today, headed for a high of 95, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. An accused imposter nurse arrested in western Pennsylvania has ties to Georgia. Investigators say 39-year-old Shannon Womack used 20 aliases and 7 social security numbers to get jobs at numerous locations from Georgia to Connecticut over many years.
The investigation showcased Womack was using the identification and nursing certifications from 4 different confirmed nurses from southern states.
And Pennsylvania State Trooper Rocco Gagliardi says the woman had numerous identifications when she was arrested during a routine traffic stop. Atlanta Public Schools starting the new year in less than 2 weeks, and today is orientation for 270 new hires, including over 180 new teachers. Superintendent Dr. Brian Johnson says virtually all are seasoned pros.
We only had one first-year teacher in that orientation, and I think that's a testament to the work the HR team has done, the investment that's been made by the board, and frankly the culture that we're trying to set as a district.
He says they are still recruiting bus drivers, but there are fewer than 10 teacher vacancies for this new school year. The first day of class is Monday, August 4th. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's up 24 at 44,347. NASDAQ is down, so is the S&P. It's 12:32.
It's July, and that means pool days, summer celebrations, and of course, heat. Georgia heat is brutal. Don't let your home be a sauna. Coolray has the perfect solution to keep you cool this summer. Coolray is offering you $2,250 in rebates and free attic insulation when you purchase your new complete carrier system. You know, proper insulation is like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. Call or go online to Coolray.com to book your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams.
Better news in Sandy Springs. Crash is clear. Georgia 400 northbound, just past Northridge Road, exit 6. So those delays heading up toward Roswell are starting to improve. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and hot today. High 95. That's trending about 5 degrees above average. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy with an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Tomorrow's high is 86.
We'll have more news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings, my fellow Americans. The phone number is 877-973-7425. I am glad my next caller is calling because he actually knows way more than me about this particular topic. Chad from Montgomery, Alabama. Welcome to the show, sir. You couldn't have called on a better day talking about this issue.
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It has.
So,
how are you?
Good. A lot of people are kind of ignorant about the pay for temporary migrant workers. These folks are here usually 10 months out of the year on an H-2A visa, and they get paid what is called an adverse effect wage rate, and for like Alabama, that's $14.68 an hour. All right. And that's true over in, I think Georgia's probably about the same, but it goes all the way up to like $22 in some states. It varies from state to state, and the Department of Labor sets that rate. And the reason they do that is so you can't bring in a migrant worker and pay them cheap and undercut American workers. So if you have, for example, if you're running a farm and you're paying a migrant worker $18 an hour, a temporary worker, if you put an American in a similar job, you have to pay them the same rate. And if there's a collective bargaining agreement in place where you're paying like, $25 an hour to a union guy, you got to pay the same rate to the migrant worker and vice versa. So I think a lot of people are confused. They think that they're undercutting the wages with temporary H-2A visa workers. They're not. The people that are undercutting the rates are illegal workers that are off the books and they're not here properly, not coming into the country properly. And I have clients, that dot their I's and cross their T's to make sure that when they bring an H-2A person in here, that they're doing exactly what they need to do. And there's all sorts of other rights they get, too, about their housing and their transportation and supervision, and then there's all sorts of treaties and things that we have with other countries too. That we have a whole set of agreements with different companies. Like Walmart requires you to comply with these European standards. They require a livable wage and all sorts of protection from trafficking and sexual harassment and everything else. And if you want to do business with Walmart, if you want to be a supplier for them, not only do you have to comply with all that, but all of your subs that give you stuff, you have to, basically show Walmart that they're in compliance as well. So it's very complicated, but there's a lot of protections in place. The real problem, Eric, is letting illegals in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so by the way, I pulled up the chart. So Alabama, it's effective actually at the end of last year. It's $16.08. Where I am in Georgia, it's $16.08. Connecticut, $18.83. Out in Oklahoma, we got a lot of listeners out there, $15.79. So if you're a migrant worker coming into the country on these visas to work in the fields, you're paid above the regular minimum wage. You're paid this. And so now suddenly I realize why so many farmers want illegal aliens to work on their fields.
Right. So they don't. But I'll tell you the good thing about it is a lot of farmers actually police this themselves, because if they know that the guy on the farm next to them is undercutting them by bringing illegal workers in, guess who calls the Department of Labor and reports that?
Yeah.
Your farmer neighbor. So they're pretty good at keeping everybody honest about it, because the competition is so high in the farm and agricultural industry. Now, there are always going to be a few cheaters, here and there, but it's a lot more difficult to do it. Of course, now you have this, apparently the marijuana farmers like to cheat a lot.
Yeah, apparently so. Got to keep those prices down.
Yeah.
That's extremely helpful.
The DOL comes in and they'll do a raid every once in a while to kind of quiet things down and make sure that people are, flying right, straight and right. And I remember a couple of years back they came into northern Alabama and they went into every chicken processing plant and raided all those and quieted things down. Then they'll go into meat processing plants and they'll go into farms, and they do targeted kind of raids and it's more of a send a message, thing. But the fines are huge, for violations. And you can find yourself not being able to hire H-2A visa workers, which is not a good place to be if you are in agriculture.
Yeah, no kidding.
But these guys like Cory Booker out there saying these poor people, they're not getting. No, they're getting paid well. And they can't overwork them certain hours and all that. I mean, there's a lot of there's a ton of restrictions in place, so that you don't have a bunch of slave labor going on. Now, I can't guarantee what's going on with the Vietnamese women working in the nail salons. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, no kidding. Yes, they're in and of itself as a problem.
Parlors.
Yeah, so I'm scanning this now, and I'm going to have to put this in the show notes tomorrow because I'm really fascinated by this grid now. It looks like the highest is the District of Columbia is $20.79 an hour, and Hawaii is $20.08 an hour. But the lowest is Puerto Rico, $10.36. But for actually inside the country, West Virginia, Texas is $15.79. West Virginia is $15.87. That appears to be the wrong. We have a winner. Mississippi, $14.83, tied with Louisiana.
So what the Department of Labor is trying to do here is that number is tied to the prevailing wage in a state. It's not that the state's choosing to underpay them. That's what the prevailing wage is in the private sector for an American doing the job, right? And the whole goal is to keep you from being able to hire H-2A visa holders and undercutting that prevailing wage that you and I might get paid for doing the same work. It's really a very good program. It protects the wage inflation and wage deflation. So, but that's why it varies from state to state. The states don't really have anything to do with it other than they look at the prevailing wage, and the Department of Labor, the federal Department of Labor, sets that AEWR wage for each state.
I am deeply impressed by your knowledge of this. I knew the moment I saw you on hold that you would be able to add to this and educate all of us, myself included. I never practiced this area of law. Thank goodness. I would not have wanted to, but I'm glad you do.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you learn it the hard way, right?
Yeah, you absolutely do. Listen, man, thank you very much for calling. I appreciate that a ton.
Good to talk to you, Eric. Take care.
You too. Folks, we'll get this in tomorrow's show notes. I may write a little more about this because this is fascinating. So that you're legally required to pay above the state minimum wage to people who are making H-2A visas to come into the country to work for agriculture. But again, that's why time and time again, you find in certain parts of the country an overwhelming wave of illegal immigrants. Whether it's landscape businesses and the like, but on farms, as Chad just noted, farmers can rat each other out. So that's actually very useful to know. And it also undercuts, to some degree, the Democrats insist that these poor guys aren't making a ton of money when they're actually making more than Americans are in some industries. I mean, in Hawaii, $20.08 an hour. In Georgia, $16.08 an hour. Florida is $16.23 an hour. Let me just go through so you get a sense of this, where I've got affiliates. So Alaska's $20.04. Arizona, $17.04. California is $19.97. Connecticut's $18.83. Florida is $16.23. Georgia, $16.08. Illinois, $19.57. Indiana, $19.57. Kentucky, $15.87. Kansas is $19.21. Louisiana, $14.83. Mississippi, $14.83. Missouri, $18.65 an hour. You must pay migrant farm workers. Montana, $16.83 an hour. Nevada, $17.84 an hour to work in migrant in agriculture. Let's see, New York, $18.83. North Carolina, $16.16. North Dakota, $19.21. Ohio, $19.57. Oklahoma, $15.79. Oregon, $19.82. Pennsylvania, $17.96. South Carolina, $16.08. Tennessee, $15.87. Texas, $15.79. And Virginia, $16.16. West Virginia, $15.87. Washington, $19.82. Wyoming, $16.83. So again, you're working on a farm. You're a migrant worker. You're here legally. They got to pay you that wage. And if they get audited and caught, they get in trouble. If you're here illegal, working under the table, you can be paid less. Farms get raided and searched and checked. The construction industry gets away with a lot. The lawn care industry, my goodness, I think I've told y'all that. We had a guy who cut our grass one time. His wallet fell out in the yard. Turns out he was an illegal alien. And when I went to take his wallet to the landscaping company, they acted like they didn't know who the guy was. So I'm like, he literally cut my grass. He was on your lawnmower, though. We have no idea who he is. So I'm like, right. They didn't want me to know they were hiring an illegal alien. So I gave him the wallet back and was so distressed with how they handled the situation that we severed ties with them. Not because they were using an illegal alien, but because they acted like they had no idea who this guy was when clearly he was working for him. And they're like, well, we don't know who this is. We can't give him his wallet back. Like clearly you can. I mean, if someone's going to work for you, legal or illegal, treat them well. But it's just it's the amount of people who get away with this stuff. And now, of course, I don't know if you've seen that landscaping companies around the country are short-staffed these days because a lot of people have self-deported. And they were using illegal immigrants. And then you got the nanny situation and the maid situation and things like that. It's just deeply infuriating to me how we are propping up an underclass in this country of serfs, essentially, to do what the Democrats demand that they do if they're here illegally. And we've got programs set up for migrant workers to be able to float in and out of the country to do the stuff that we've decided Americans don't want to do. Like, as Chad was explaining, they set the prevailing wage based on the wage in that state, and in some states $16 an hour, sometimes $18 an hour. Are you really going to find an American college kid who wants to go pick crops for $18, $19 an hour? I mean, it's good money, but it's labor. It's intense. It's in the heat. Does an American kid want to sweat on a field? There's a great job for an American kid who wants to go pick peaches or something down in South Georgia or peanuts during harvest season. You're making $18.68 an hour or so. $16.84 an hour in Georgia. Not a bad salary. Are you going to find some white American kid to get off his Xbox and go do it for that salary? Or would you have to pay him $25, $30 an hour to do it? That's the problem we're dealing with. The benefit of Chad's phone call, y'all don't know this. The benefit of Chad's phone call, in addition to making us all smarter about this issue, is it got me out of having to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. But there's news on Jeffrey Epstein. And sadly, I got to talk about that when we come back. First, let me tell you about Hillsdale College. If you go to ericforhillsdale.com, you can sign up with Hillsdale College, and you can take one of 40 different classes from Hillsdale. ERICK, ericforhillsdale.com. They've got a great one on capitalism right now. You can give it a whirl. You do it at your own pace. Their video lecture series, each episode of the videos are about 30 minutes long. It depends on how many videos in each class based on the hour of the class. Some are 12 hours long, some 7 hours. Do the math on 30-minute lectures. They're all really good. They're by some of the best faculty at Hillsdale College. You can learn about history, religion, science, literature, math, political philosophy, political science. There's so much there. The history of this country. They got some great ones. ericforhillsdale.com, ERICK, ericforhillsdale.com. You go sign up with Hillsdale College. You get a certificate of completion when you're done, and you don't pay a penny. The capitalism class is worth it. You'll reappreciate the free market system this country was built on, even as you lament a little bit how we don't have it to the extent we could have it today. ericforhillsdale.com.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Eric Erickson Show.
1249 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still seeing the brake lights through Sandy Springs in that right lane construction zone. 285 westbound. That construction's around Roswell Road, exit 25. You slow leaving Georgia 400, but gets much better once you get over to Riverside Drive. And a crash cleared in Cobb County, Sandy Plains Road at Piedmont Road. All lanes back open there. Traffic brought to you by Sam's Club. There's still time to enjoy locked-in summer value at Sam's Club till July 22nd. That is today. Prices are held on over 1,000 items. Join now and make the most of summer. Sign up for a membership at samsclub.com/join. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
For 25 years now, WSB has teamed up with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta to find cures for childhood cancers and blood disorders.
All of us at WSB team up to benefit the kids.
Join us again for 2 days of magic.
This Thursday and Friday, July 24th and 25th.
You can make miracles happen. Won't you please help?
It's as easy as calling 1-888-750-2772.
Or online at WSBradio.com.
Properties come in all shapes and sizes, and so do foundation repairs. Mark Beckham here. It could be new construction, a big house, a small house, or your commercial property. Anyway, you need the leaders in foundation repair to handle it. Get your free estimate at atlantaramjack.com.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DEN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Click firstgaroof.com. That's firstgaroof.com.
This is Andy Harris, president of Coosa Valley Credit Union, with a personal invitation for you to join our newest branches in Woodstock, Canton, or Dallas. We've been in business in Northwest Georgia for 70 years, and we're proud to now offer kinder banking to Cobb, Cherokee, and Paulding County, where you'll always speak to a real person. With 11 locations, Coosa Valley Credit Union is always local and nearby. Experience kinder banking and stop in a Coosa Valley Credit Union branch near you.
It's summer in Georgia, pool days, backyard barbecues, and that sweltering southern heat. You know, the inside of your home shouldn't feel like a sauna. Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Electrical. You can turn your house into the ultimate cool escape with Coolray. Right now, get up to $2,250 in rebates plus free attic installation when you upgrade your HVAC to a complete Carrier system. Proper installation is like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. And don't forget your plumbing this summer. For a limited time, get a $99 water heater flush to ensure your hot water stays running all summer long. No surprises during those morning showers. From cool comfort to smooth flowing plumbing, trust the Coolray team that's kept Georgia homes running for decades. Simply visit Coolray.com today to schedule your appointment. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Join Eric's army of activists and let your voice be heard. Text ARMY to 33777.
Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Delighted to have you with me. We'll get to the episode. I'm so tired of talking about it. But, so this morning I had to go to a fairly brand new building in Atlanta. Very nice people. It's a beautiful facility. Don't want to disparage them. But I thought it was very funny. I got there and it's already in the 80s outside. It's humid in Atlanta. So I'm walking several blocks to this place. So I sweat generally, and I get into this place, and it's not that much cooler inside than outside. And I thought, well, it's the front door. I'm in the lobby. No big deal. We'll go somewhere. So we'll get on the elevator, go up to a high floor. And it's not that cool. And I noticed the receptionist is got a little bit of sweat as well. And I start looking, and of course, this building is LEED certified, and they use passive air cooling systems until a certain internal temperature is reached, and then the HVAC system comes on. And I mention it, and the receptionist like, every morning we sweat till the air conditioning comes on, and it never gets as cold as you want. Because, environmentalism is designed to make you miserable. And people pour this money into these LEED certified buildings, and they suck. And the environmental architectural people, that's a cult, and they will defend them till the end. And you're like, but the building doesn't get rid of the humidity well, and it doesn't get rid of it doesn't cool down as well as a place with an HVAC system. Well, they're bad for the environment and blah, blah, blah. It's like, these systems that you're using, they work great where they were invented in Northern California, where it's always a pleasant 70 degrees. But in Atlanta, Georgia, where it's 100% humidity and 85 degrees at sunup, it doesn't work quite as well. It's just, my gosh, I mean, people build for where you're doing. So a buddy of mine, again, not going to go into details, but he was building in a very environmentally friendly development. And they required in this particular development a passive air cooling system, where essentially what you do is you pump this coolant 500 feet underground where it's cool, and it circulates into the house, and fans blow over these rods of the chilled stuff that's gone underground. And it's not a standard HVAC system. There are no external fans. What you notice about this neighborhood is that it's extremely quiet, which is a very pleasant surprise. Like, you get to this neighborhood and you're like, there's something off about this place. What is it? And you finally realize, like, all the people who live there have electric cars. Nobody has gas-burning cars. And there are no air conditioning systems outside. You don't hear an air conditioning system turn on. They don't even use, like, gas-powered lawnmowers in this neighborhood. It's all battery-powered stuff. It is extremely quiet, and that's very pleasant. But you go into the houses, and you're miserable. It's just not cold. It's in the South in the summer. My buddy was installing these air systems, and he was a little skeptical of them. And they were installing them over the fall and the winter. And sure enough, as he expected, they don't quite cool the way that they are advertised as cooling, because where are they big at? Northern California. Moderate temperature climates where you don't have 100 degrees and 100% humidity outside like in the South. And these systems just can't keep up. The environmentalists want everyone to be miserable. They don't want you to have kids. They want to save the planet, not humanity. And they claim they want to save humanity, but they don't care about you. They care about some what snail darter somewhere that's got to shut down agriculture, water reservoirs, and everything else. That they care about the snails and the amoeba. They don't actually care about the human beings. It's just remarkable how these people are committed as an agenda to making life miserable for everyone. In Europe now, there are calls to get rid of the few air conditioners they have. They had a heat wave in London, massive heat wave in London. People literally were passing out of the offices because a lot of the buildings don't have air conditioners. 75 degrees, people. 75 to 78 degrees. That was a massive heat wave in London. The high for Wimbledon set a record. It was 85 degrees. Like, it was 85 degrees when I woke up this morning in Atlanta, Georgia. And they're melting down over the good Lord. Learn to just embrace air conditioning. It is what God gave us, air conditioning. Embrace it, put it in your buildings, turn the air down, and just be cool. It's a wonderful thing. When we come back, we got to move on to the Democratic mendacity.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see "Get a Phone on Us," get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. We're going to start with this. A murder investigation underway this afternoon in Gwinnett County after a man was found shot to death in the parking lot of a church on Webb Gin House Road this morning.
It is still an active investigation, and we do believe it to be an isolated case at this time.
That is Sergeant James Lawson with Gwinnett Police. He says they are working to identify the man and possible suspects. It's going to be really hot this afternoon, headed for a high of 95, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. 3 juveniles are in custody now after a boy was shot in the head in a Mableton neighborhood. Cobb police responding to the 1900 block of Paget Drive just after 4 yesterday afternoon. They found the boy. He's in critical condition this afternoon. The investigation continuing. No names or ages have been released just yet. Attorneys, family members, and local advocates calling for the release of a local Hispanic journalist, Mario Guevara, who remains in immigration custody.
Catherine Guevara says her family is reeling from the continued detention of her father Mario at a South Georgia ICE facility.
My mom is exhausted. My brothers and I feel like we're stuck in a nightmare.
Guevara was arrested while covering an immigration protest in June, but the charges were dropped. ICE officials appealed a judge's bond order for his release, so he remains in custody.
He belongs home with us, and we won't stop fighting until he is.
A spokesperson for ICE declined to comment. From the state capitol, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
The FBI finds more than $5 million in drugs after searching several homes around the metro area so far. They say more than 20 people have been arrested, but more could be charged. The FBI believes those involved in the operation were funneling the drugs into central Georgia. And Cobb County commissioners will hold their final public hearing and vote tonight on a proposed $1.3 billion budget. This plan keeps property taxes flat. It includes employee raises of 2 to 5% and adds $18 million to the general fund. This vote comes after commissioners managed to erase a projected $7 million deficit. They credit stronger than expected property tax growth and lower health care cost. Yet another major automaker saying that President Trump's tariffs are creating some big financial issues for them. Correspondent Jim Krasula has more.
General Motors says its second quarter profits dropped by more than a third because of Trump administration tariffs. The automaker says it will take a $1.1 billion hit because of Mr. Trump's tariffs. Automakers Stellantis and Volvo have both said recently that the tariffs will each cost them more than $1 billion.
And the U.S. imposed 25% tariffs on imported finished cars in early April, a move that affected major GM manufacturing operations in Mexico, Canada, and South Korea. It's 102.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
At Rocco's European Garage, we take pride in providing full service and repair for any Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Land Rover, or European vehicle. Hey, this is Rocco, and visit one of our 6 locations for top-notch customer service that includes clear upfront pricing, customer approval prior to us beginning work, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. Your vehicle is fixed right the first time, and we offer shuttle service for more convenience. Always at a better value than the dealership. Visit any of our 6 locations at Rocco's European Garage.
So you're staying in your home longer than you thought. Let Nelson Exteriors bring the beauty back with an exterior makeover. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors. We can take care of your entire home improvement wish list. Windows, siding, painting, roofing, decks, doors, and gutters. We're a James Hardy Elite Preferred Siding contractor and carry multiple energy-efficient window brands to fit your budget and style. Choose Nelson Exteriors for an extraordinary renovation. Google Nelson Exteriors.
Oh, there it goes again. I think old Rusty's had her last ride.
Aw, I think you're right. It's time to let her go. But what if she could still do some good?
What do you mean?
Well, we can donate it to the Tommy Novus Center.
Really?
They take old cars, running or not, and use the proceeds to help people with disabilities find jobs.
So instead of Rusty just sitting in the driveway, she could help someone who needs a job?
Exactly. And donating is easy. They pick it up for free.
That's a great idea.
Donate your vehicle to Tommy Novus Center and help people with disabilities gain meaning meaningful employment. Visit TommyNobisCenter.org to donate.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. This isn't about driving. It's about how it makes you feel. At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, they value you, and they're here to elevate every mile. The Golden Opportunity Sales Event ends September 2nd. Don't miss it.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather, Alex Williams.
A little bit of volume heading downtown on 85 southbound leaving Georgia 400. Just sluggish, though, as you make your way 75-85 south past North Avenue. Right lane construction continues in Sandy Springs. 285 westbound Roswell Road exit 25. You're slow back toward Ashford Dunwoody Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds and trending hotter today. High 95, lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, breezy, and cooling down to a high of 86. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow afternoon.
89 degrees here in Midtown Atlanta. It's 89 in Marietta. Clarkston has 90 degrees. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
My fellow Americans, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, just to bring you the latest on the most personal of matters, a tradition unlike any other. I'm waiting to get my master's email telling me that for the 27th or 28th year in a row, actually, it's been before. I've been married 25 years this year. I've been applying to go to the Masters lottery longer than that, and I reject it every year. And everybody else is getting their rejection emails. I haven't gotten mine yet, and I know better than to extend hope because it's the hope that kills you. I'm just waiting to get my rejection from the Masters yet again. All right, I got to talk about the mendacious little foot soldiers of the Democratic Party. Hunter Biden
But mostly it is 3 hours.
Wait, pause. Fired that up too soon. Hunter Biden yesterday went off on the Pod Saves America bros. And you got to remember, these are guys who they worked for Barack Obama as speechwriters, and then they very presumptuously started a podcast called Pod Saves America. And they've traded on their ties to Barack Obama for years, and Hunter Biden went off on them in this interview yesterday. And now they've decided to take a shot back. And I want you to listen to what they have to say, a little bit of this conversation.
But mostly it is 3 hours of Hunter playing the victim, and he rages at us, and he rages at Axelrod and Clooney. But the problem was the voters.
I know.
And they never
That's all I
addressed
wanted
that.
to say.
The voters thought Joe Biden was too old. And when it comes to the attacks on Hunter himself, okay, what if we just stipulate for the hypothetical, yes, okay, all your business dealings were above board and legal. All your paintings were purchased by art lovers who loved the product and didn't know your name. Trump is worse. You were on the board of Burisma because of who your dad is. And that is what people hate about Washington. And it was part of the problem. And there's some other weird, he said he blames the debate on the Biden staff, saying they gave him Ambien on his foreign trip. But Biden got back from the G7 on June 14th. The debate was June 27th.
A lot of fucking Ambien.
If Ambien was the issue, I don't think it's Ambien. It's age.
Also,
right?
it's he was tired, so they gave him Ambien?
Also, allow me to rant one more second. His big beef is that Republicans stick together and Democrats are united. But he's obsessed with this show, obsessed with George Clooney. They don't talk about Gaza until 2 hours and 50 minutes into the interview. I'm guessing that was the bigger threat to party unity than a George Clooney op-ed. You know what I mean? It's just this sense of entitlement that from Biden, from his family, from the inner circle, that he was owed the presidency, owed a second term. It's just very grating.
Okay. He goes on a little more from there where that they point out again the Burisma stuff and that the only people who bought his paintings were people who wanted to buy into the Biden administration. By the way, I would point out that is something that Republicans regularly pointed out and that Democrats regularly denied. Regularly denied it. They regularly defended Joe Biden. Where were the Pod Saves America bros talking about Joe Biden's age and voters before Joe Biden dropped out? And to some degree, that they were defensive of him, including him being let off stage by Obama. Wasn't it one of the, maybe I got it wrong here. I could have it wrong, but I was pretty sure when it came out, the video of Joe Biden being left off stage or being let off stage by Obama, one of those like, I was there, he wasn't being let off stage. And he was being let off stage. And now everybody's like, yeah, he was being let off stage. It was the cover-up by the Democrats, the complicity of these sorts of people, the mendacity of it. And now these good little Democratic foot soldiers, now that Biden's not there and Hunter Biden goes after him, they're like, well, you were on Burisma because of your dad. Yes, that was always true, but you never said anything at the time. I get little, you know what? This is a perfect transition to the Epstein stuff for one particular reason. Donald Trump today essentially is saying that Barack Obama was treasonous, and that the Department of Justice should investigate Barack Obama. Here is the president from the Oval Office earlier today at a press conference.
No, Barack Hussein Obama is the ringleader. Hillary Clinton was right there with him, and so was Sleepy Joe Biden, and so were the rest of them. Comey, Clapper, the whole group. And they tried to rig an election, and they got caught. And then they did rig the election in 2020. And then because I knew I won that election by a lot, I did it a third time, and I won in a landslide. Every swing state won the popular vote. But I won that all the same way in 2020. And look at the damage that was caused.
That's Donald Trump. Barack Obama, it needs to be investigated, he says. Something's got to happen to Obama. Y'all, listen, I'm going to be real honest with you. The whole reason that they're doing this now is because of Jeffrey Epstein. Look, I'm not making it up. You could be mad at me for telling the truth. You could deny it, but you know deep down it's true. They're trying to get the MAGA base that's been obsessed with Epstein and angry at Donald Trump for not releasing files to be distracted by a squirrel. This is the Obama is the squirrel. They're turning and saying, look, Obama, we got to do something about Obama. Obama rigged the 2016 election. Thank you, Tulsi Gabbard, for releasing all of the evidence. Thank you, Tulsi Gabbard, for showing people that Barack Obama was complicit. We need the DOJ to investigate Barack Obama. And the MAGA base is like, yes, we need to send Barack Obama to jail. We need to send Barack Obama to jail. Yes, 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 yes. Jail. Arrest them all. And now they're not talking about Jeffrey Epstein. It's a brilliant play, but I recognize it's a play to get people to not talk about Epstein, to get them to talk about Obama. And there's one fatal problem for the prosecution of Barack Obama, and why I know for certain, contrary to many people's beliefs, Barack Obama is never going to jail. There's a little case before the Supreme Court you might remember. It was called United States versus Donald Trump, and it gave presidents of the United States expansive immunity. Who was president of the United States in 2016? Barack Obama. Good luck using the standard set by the Supreme Court in U.S. versus Trump. Good luck getting around that precedent to try to prosecute Barack Obama. But now that everybody's talking about Barack Obama and Donald Trump says he's committed treason and he needs to be investigated by the DOJ and the like, good luck. The president has been brilliant in shifting everybody's focus away from Epstein today. He's got the media already spun up today. The media is no longer talking about Epstein today. Even the media is talking about, is he going to try to prosecute Barack Obama? Is Pam Bondi going to frog march Barack Obama in handcuffs? You've got now the Speaker of the House suggesting that Barack Obama needs to be called up to the House of Representatives and testify under oath. It's all to distract people about Jeffrey Epstein. It's designed to change the conversation. I think most of you know it. See, here's the problem, though. I'm willing to tell you this stuff. And some of you are mad. I get angry emails from people. I made this statement on Twitter a little while ago. I already got angry. Oh, it's actually really important. It's more important than Jeffrey Epstein. That's why they're doing it. It has nothing to do with Epstein. It's not a distraction. It's important. Finally, we're getting there. Good luck with U.S. versus Trump. Easily manipulated people. I'm willing to tell you this. If the Pod Saves America Bros, they were never willing when Joe Biden was president to call out Hunter Biden on Burisma. They were never willing to call out Joe Biden on his massive age problems and his clear dementia. They were never willing to make jokes about or pick on Hunter Biden for selling art that wasn't very good and yet being able to sell it for a lot of money solely because of who his daddy was. But now that Hunter Biden has criticized him and Joe Biden is no longer there, the truth can finally be told. The problem with American politics is that in TV and radio and podcasts and in politics, we don't have enough people willing to tell you the God's honest truth where you know what side they're on, but they're still willing to tell you the truth even if it contradicts the line. And these guys weren't willing to do it. And that's why so many Americans are so cynical about American politics these days, because you know the truth. You know what's happening today about Obama is to distract people and get them to stop talking about Epstein, and that U.S. versus Trump means Barack Obama's not going to be prosecuted. You know it. You know it's true, and I know it's true. Even if you don't want to acknowledge it's true, I'll tell you the truth. And I'll get the partisan hate. Those guys, though, knew it was true about Hunter Biden and Burisma. And by the way, when I was criticizing Hunter Biden and Burisma, it was people on the left defending him. No, it was real. It was legitimate. He's setting his own path to the world. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden. He's a great artist. Those paintings are fantastic. No, they never were. They were garbage paintings. He wasn't a good artist. I could probably be a better artist if you stabbed out my eyes and gave me a paintbrush. I could probably paint something better, blind. But too many people wanted to defend their precious. Too many people on the left couldn't be honest at the time. There's new polling out today. The president, he's not doing great. He's between 40 and 45% popular approval rating. The Democrats are at 18 to 21% popular approval rating. President is vastly more popular than them. Why? Because Americans realize Democrats lied to them for 4 years and they don't trust them to come back into power. There's new partisan generic ballot polling. Democrats have a 4-point lead in the generic ballot. Depending on the poll, yes, it's between 2 and 4 points. You know, in 2017, before the 2018 midterms, it was like 7 to 9 point lead. At most, it's 4 points right now. Why? Because people hate the Democrats. A 4-point lead for the Democrats right now in this environment is not actually good for them. It's actually a warning sign for the Democrats right now because nobody trusts them to tell the truth. You can disagree with me, but I do my best to tell you the truth, whether it helps my party or hurts my party, because I think the truth is more important than carrying water for a politician, carrying water for the president, carrying water for the Republicans. Too many of these people on the left, though, the Pod Saves America bros, the Democratic politicians of America, and even the American press corps was too busy carrying water for Joe Biden. They treated Hunter Biden's work product as legitimate. They treated his ties to Burisma as legitimate. They treated his business dealings in China as legitimate. They treated his art projects as legitimate until they left office, and now he's got a fat pardon from daddy, and they're like, oh yeah, it was always a scam the whole time. He was always a liability. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it, and none of you people wanted to say it. And you people in the press corps were the worst because you attacked anyone on the right who raised the issue, and you knew it was true. You knew they were telling the truth. And sadly, I think there's a warranted cynicism that is an unfortunate cynicism from the American public now, where they think everybody's playing them. They think everybody's scamming them. They think everybody is out to get them in some way, because when you have all these people who, when their side's not in power, they're willing to tell the truth, and too few people are willing to tell the truth when their own side's in power, it makes Americans cynical of everyone, and it festers distrust. And that distrust ultimately undermines the system, which is unfortunate, but completely understandable. Now that the Democrats are gone and Joe Biden is out of power, the little foot soldiers of the left in their mendacity can finally tell the truth, which raises questions. Why couldn't they tell the truth then? But they don't want to answer that question.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
120 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Crash that was in the right lane was quick to move to the right shoulder. 285 southbound, the outer loop on the southwest leg of town, right around Washington Road, exit 1. And if you're traveling 920 westbound into Cobb County through the work zone, on and off the brakes from Panola Road to the east side perimeter. Traffic brought to you by Sam's Club. There's still time to enjoy locked-in summer value at Sam's Club till July 22nd. That's today. Prices are held on over 1,000 items. Join now and make the most of summer. Sign up for a membership at samsclub.com/join. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Finding cures for childhood cancer. It's been our passion for years at WSB.
It's the 25th annual WSB Radio Carathon on July 24th and 25th.
And we need your help raising money to find and fund cures for childhood cancers and blood disorders.
More information in the WSB Radio app
or online at WSBradio.com.
Thank you for your support of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
It's July, and that means pool days, summer celebrations, and of course, heat. Georgia heat is brutal. Don't let your home be a sauna. Coolray has the perfect solution to keep you cool this summer. Coolray is offering you $2,250 in rebates and free attic insulation when you purchase your new complete Carrier system. You know, proper insulation is like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. Call or go online to Coolray.com to book your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
At Ameris Bank, we know that it's never just business when it's your business. I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Whether your business is looking to optimize cash flow, improve your payment technology, or grow more quickly, my team and I are here and ready to help with a superior level of service, smart banking technology, and local market expertise. I invite you to reach out to my team by visiting amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
Has the heat brought out the stink in your basement? Water damage? Musty odors? Mold? Dave Baker here. Let AquaGuard Foundation Solutions fix it once and for all and keep your basement dry year-round. Visit AquaGuard.net for your free inspection.
AquaGuard. Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Men's Choice Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Katz with Choice Men's Health. Regardless of your age or medical condition, Choice Men's Health can safely restore your potency. Our customized solutions can eliminate your problem in just one visit. There's no pain, no surgery, and it's affordable.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health. The only choice for your health.
If you drive a Mercedes, BMW, Land Rover, or any European import, come see us at Rocco's European Garage. Better value than the dealership, honest and all-in pricing with customer approval prior to us beginning, and our services won't void the manufacturer's warranty. Rocco's European Garage.
Hey, it's Belinda Skelton. I was at a barbecue where the bug spray was getting more action than the ketchup bottle. Hey, that wouldn't happen at my house. I use Arrow exterminators. Summer pests like mosquitoes, fire ants, and roaches don't stand a chance. Arrow's team members use effective, environmentally friendly solutions, and they've been family-owned for over 61 years. Call 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com for your free pest inspection. And don't forget to tell them Belinda sent you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
Greetings, conversationalists. The phone number 877-973-7425. Brian in Oklahoma City, welcome. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm trying to plan my summer vacation. And my question is, the Democrats are saying that all these deportations and self-deportations are messing up all the jobs that Americans don't want. But, my question is, with all those people going home to Mexico, how many months do you think it's going to take before the place is, perfectly landscaped and clean and there's lush fruits and vegetables everywhere? I mean, it sounds like a great place pretty soon. If they go home and do all those jobs there and clean up their own country, I mean, I want to book a vacation. How long do you think it's going to take for them to turn it around?
Okay, first of all, I got to say, without a doubt, every time someone calls from Oklahoma, it's always the funniest call. Second, you make an excellent point. I mean, at some point, we should have streets lined with gold down in Mexico, and I mean, everything should be spotless. You might even be able to drink the water pretty soon when we send all these people home. I
might actually be able to get my mayonnaise jar clean so I can store my cocaine in it, like Hunter Biden does.
Yes, you might. We are about to get ourselves in trouble here, Brian. But yeah, okay. For those of you laughing at Brian, it's an excellent point, though. I mean, with the massive amount of people now, unfortunately, Brian, the data actually shows that most of the illegal immigrants who are headed home are actually going to like El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, the Triangle region down there. So, but I mean, they could go put themselves to work in Mexico City and clean the place up, because now I've never been, but I have friends who love to go, and it's been in decline since the drug lords decided to go to war against the country.
Well, my point about this is a tongue-in-cheek point.
Yeah.
About the Democrats always, their elitism, jumps out, and, suddenly they like to point out, well, who's going to do my dry cleaning? And it's
right.
It's such a telling, their true colors come out.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how out of touch they are with the working class and the normal.
Right.
Guys like me who turn a wrench for a living, and work with these folks, we don't see them as, I respect those guys because they work their butts off and do a great job on my lawn,
mm-hmm.
But I also own a lawnmower and I can do it myself.
Yeah. And it's so transactional from the Democrats. Look, I got to leave you there but man, I love the phone call and a great point. Perfect way to make the point too, Brian. At some point when I get out to Oklahoma City, I'll let you know. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Look, y'all, I got to call your attention to Swiss America. They've been the trusted leader in precious metals for 40 years in this country, and they're warning people about the secret war on cash. I don't know if y'all saw, John Fetterman is actually introducing legislation with, I think, Steve Daines from Montana, I think, is the co-sponsor, to require that that any place that is open for business has to take cash. Because there is this war on cash in this country, and Swiss America has been warning people about it. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, and they want to give you their report, The Secret War on Cash. If you go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric, SwissAmerica.com/ERICK, you can get it completely for free. It takes less than 15 minutes to read. It can save on your retirement finances. You can also call or text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646. It includes digital currency. 800-289-2646. The number, just text my name, Eric, ERICK. 800-289-2646 or go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. Message and data rates may apply.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. A homicide investigation is underway this afternoon. This after a man's body is found outside of a church. Someone passing by Cannon United Methodist Church on Webgen House Road found the body this morning in the parking lot around 6 a.m. Then they called police.
On arrival, officers located a Hispanic male believed to be in his 20s. And was found with at least one gunshot wound.
Sergeant James Lawson with Gwinnett Police says that they believe that this is an isolated incident and not connected to the church. Police working to identify the man and any possible suspects. Going to be hot this afternoon, headed for a high of 95, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. An accused imposter nurse arrested in western Pennsylvania has ties to Georgia. Investigators say 39-year-old Shannon Womack used 20 aliases and 7 social security numbers to get jobs at numerous locations from Georgia to Connecticut over many years.
The investigation showcased Womack was using the identification and nursing certifications from 4 different confirmed nurses from southern states.
That's Pennsylvania State Trooper Rocco Gagliardi. He says the woman had numerous IDs when she was arrested during a routine traffic stop. Over 100,000 ice cream bars produced by Rich's Ice Cream under recall because of concerns over potential listeria contamination. The ice cream was sold in about 24 states, including here in Georgia. The impacted products include a long list of flavors like chocolate crunch cake bars, strawberry shortcake, and crumbled cookie bars, and more. So far, no illness has been reported. We have more information at WSBRadio.com. And Target's doing away with its price match policy starting on Monday. The retailer will no longer price match for places like Amazon and Walmart. Instead, if prices are lower at Target.com than they are in the stores, then you'll get the lower price. Target has been struggling with weak sales at its nearly 2,000 stores here in the United States. It's 1:32.
Mosquitoes bite, but Breda bites back. Christina Edwards here. Nobody is better at beating mosquitoes because 1, only Breda will come back and retreat your yard within 30 days, even after rain. 2, Breda will knock down the adults and go after those mosquito eggs to stop future generations. And 3, every Breda technician is licensed to safely treat your home. Breda bites, mosquitoes back.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
It's what welcomes people to your home, and first impressions are everything. Your front door. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All 4 Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. We're the experts for every opening in your home. Not only your garage door, but your windows and your front door too. Replace your dated single front door with a gorgeous double door. No matter the size of your entrance, we can customize and install the double doors of your dreams. Make your front door grand. Get started at all4seasonsgarages.com.
It's Eric, and one of the questions I get asked all the time is, Erickson, where do I get a computer? I don't want to worry about the setup and all the tech support stuff. Y'all, you go to Vision Computers. Call them at 404-COMPUTE. Listen, when you call Vision, you're not getting stuck in a maze of hold music or menus. They answer the phone 15 seconds on average. That's right, 15 seconds. Real people, real help, real fast, right when you need it. And here's the part I love. You got an older computer, you got programs you rely on. maybe QuickBooks or a niche software for your small business. You're afraid a new computer means losing it all or spending days doing transfers. Vision Computers got you covered. As long as your software is supported in Windows 11, they can move all your programs from your old computer to the new one efficiently, safely, and fast. It's like handing off all the hassle to someone who's an expert and knows what they're doing. So if you're thinking your old computer is fine but slowing down, maybe time for a new one. Call 404-COMPUTE today. That's 404-COMPUTE. Let Vision Computers take care of everything. You're never going to want to buy a computer another way.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Watching some traffic pacing right now in Gwinnett County, heading up through Duluth. They're holding all lanes 85 and northbound at Sugarloaf Parkway. Also looks like 85 southbound right around 985. They usually do this when they're stringing some wires across the interstate, so hopefully shouldn't last too long. But in the meantime, if you'd like, you can use Satellite Boulevard. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and trending hotter today, high 95.
We'll have more news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. It's Eric Erickson here. Well. Here's a wild story for you. I just saw this. Molly Hemingway flagged it on Twitter. A Department of Justice staffer, Carolyn Feinstein. She's a Department of Justice forensic accountant in Austin, Texas. She's been fired by the DOJ. Turns out it was her husband who started the ICE Block app. You know, the app where you can flag ICE locations and say ICE is present and people can show up to protest them or they can disappear. Turns out this DOJ forensic accountant's husband is the one who did it as part of activism, she says. She told the Daily Beast, a left-wing publication, this was retribution. I was fired because of the actions or activism of my husband. Her husband is a tech guy, Joshua Aaron. He started the ICE Block app that alerts users if Immigrations and Customs Enforcement agents have been spotted within a 5-mile radius of them. Tom Holman and ICE Director Tom Lyon have called for the DOJ to investigate the app after Josh Aaron went on CNN to advertise the app. Feinstein says she informed the DOJ of her ties to the app creator after he started receiving death threats. She wanted the office prepared. Well, they started asking questions, and it turns out she's a minority shareholder in All You Chart Inc., which holds the IP address for the app. She insisted it was only the case in case her husband had become incapacitated so she could shut it down. But, yeah, she's a minority shareholder in the company, just to be on the safe side. What do you think was going to happen, lady? You put your husband's app puts federal agents in jeopardy. You acknowledge its activism. I actually think the man deserves a medal. I think Joshua Aaron, who the developer of the ICE Block app, is an American hero. And I think he deserves a medal. Do y'all know how much more pleasant it is to go shopping now? When I get to a location I want to go shopping at and say ICE is present, you just watch people scatter. And you can go in now. You go into Walmart, you go into Target, Home Depot. You go to Home Depot and you use the ICE Block app and you just watch people scatter. Everybody runs away, and you get to go into Home Depot. The parking lot clears out. You get to go in. You have a great shopping experience. It's phenomenal. The man is American. He has made my shopping experiences so much more pleasant. Every time I go somewhere now, I fire up the ICE Block app. I say, I have seen ICE in this location. I sit in the parking lot for about 5 minutes, watch people run out of the shopping center, and then I go shopping. There is, you A lot of these places now have self-checkout. And for some reason, people have decided that the use of self-checkout is to take a shopping cart full of groceries and individually scan and bag, as opposed to standing in line and waiting to put them on the conveyor and letting somebody else do it for you, because they don't care. It feels faster to them because they're occupied, even though it's slower. And so when you go to your local grocery store, you go to lots of self-checkout places now, particularly the grocery stores are notorious for this. It's always somebody in there, and they're backing up the self-checkout line, doing an entire buggy full of groceries when they could go to the actual line and let those of us who have 5 things, maybe 1 thing, actually go. Now, my friends, you use the Ice Block app, and that's not a problem. Go to my local Publix grocery store, park in the parking lot, flag ICE is present in the area. I can run in, get the 1 or 2 things I need, go through the self-checkout. There's not anybody in there with a massive grocery cart. There's plenty of space. This woman's husband has made my shopping experience so much easier. Now, I gotta commend as well James Uthmeyer. He is the Attorney General in Florida. The Attorney General in Florida has just put up on Twitter. This is an actual tweet from the Attorney General of Florida, James Uthmeyer. Great guy, by the way. I really do like him. He says, we recently got a tip from someone whose abusive ex overstayed a tourism visa. He is now queued up for deportation. If your ex is in this country illegally, please feel free to reach out to our office. We'd be happy to assist. You know, I might report my kid if she keeps spending my money. See if I can get look, she's an Ericsson. She's clearly Swedish. She's got a card tied to my account. If she keeps doing this, I don't have the Ice Block app for her. I could call the Attorney General in Georgia, Chris Carr, and say, I would like to report an illegal alien who needs to be deported, my kid. And he'll say, but isn't she an American citizen? Says, I don't think so. You might need to round her up and send her to Alligator Alcatraz and investigate whether or not she's a citizen. It would give me at least a couple of weeks of respite from purchases being made. I mean, get rid of my boss. There's this guy. We brought him here to my flagship station. He had been in California for quite a while. He might be an illegal alien. I need to report Mr. Charles. I don't even know that that's his real name. You should send him away for a couple of weeks vacation while we check to see if he's a citizen. I mean, this is like the next greatest thing after the Ice Block app. You can report your in-laws if they get on your nerves. Report your spouse. Report your boss. They just might be an illegal alien. I'm not sure you should round them up and deport them. Send ICE in to get them. It'll take them a couple of weeks to sort it out. In the meantime, it's an anonymous tip. How do they know who reported them? They're not going to be able to find it out. You could have peace at home, peace in the office, peace at the family reunion. Now, I got to tell you, if you really want to man up on this one and do it great, is you actually report them while you're at the family reunion, have your camera ready, take some pictures of the deportations. Just have them show up at the family reunion. You're looking for James Smith. I mean, he could be British with a name like James Smith. He could be an illegal alien from Britain. Round them up and send them out of there. So now that I think about that, I think my brother-in-law, that is so. No. I'm James Smith is my brother-in-law. So maybe I should have used a different name. I wasn't talking about it. I was talking about the other one. Let's use Wesley Smith. Yes, I just listen. Round them up. Have DOJ do the background check. This reminds me, yes, Philip just sent me this. Some guy, this is from several weeks ago. Some guy on Twitter, he's a retired law enforcement director of the Armed Servicemen Center, lives in California, and he tweeted out, I'm extremely afraid ICE is going to deport my Latina mother-in-law who lives at 5 2nd Street. She gets off work at 7 p.m. Keep an eye out for her. Oh, the fun you could have with this stuff. But seriously, The attorney, the forensic accountant for the DOJ, if she didn't see and her husband didn't see why it's a problem to do what they did with this app and jeopardize people, it's a real problem. It's a real problem that these people have internalized their hatred for ICE so much, who are doing their jobs, and they're deporting people who aren't supposed to be in the country, and yet they're treated as if they're the Nazi Gestapo by the left, when a majority of Americans support them doing their job. Now, I gotta shift gears here to what I was actually going to talk about, because we now actually have the real story on Iran. And I want to go back to what I told you about when it came to the flooding in Texas, because you will recall the flooding happened over July 4th weekend, and by Monday there were numerous stories in the mainstream media, including the New York Times, that all these deaths were probably because of Doge, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk. Donald Trump, Doge, and Elon Musk laid off members of the National Weather Service. They were scaling back the NOAA. All these people died because of that. And a week plus later, the Washington Post revealed that at Camp Mystic, they got the alerts an hour and 15 minutes before the rains even began falling. They had an hour and 15 minutes to begin evacuations. For reasons no one understands, they delayed it, and even the director lost his life trying to rescue girls. But the alerts were timely, and they finally revealed more than a week later that the National Weather Service doesn't have the power to order evacuations. But they let the narrative sit there for multiple weeks. The narrative always trumps the truth for the press when it comes to covering for Republicans, when they want to attack them. Well, the narrative that was released to the media after the bombing of Iran was that it was unsuccessful. And it was amplified at CNN, the New York Times, and elsewhere that the bombing really wasn't that successful. Here now, the truth. Iran's deeply buried nuclear enrichment plant at Fordo was badly damaged and potentially destroyed by the 12 massive bombs the U.S. Air Force B-2 bombers dropped on it last month, according to a new American intelligence assessment. 2 other nuclear sites targeted in the U.S. attacks were not as badly damaged, but facilities at the sites that would be key to fabricating a nuclear weapon were destroyed and could take years to rebuild. A senior Israeli official said last week that the strikes most likely did not eliminate the stockpile of near bomb-grade fuel that could be used to produce upwards of 10 nuclear weapons, but without the facilities to manufacture a weapon, U.S. officials said, the fuel would be of little use even if the Iranians could dig it out of the rubble. The new assessment helps create a clearer picture of what the combined Israeli and U.S. strikes on Iran achieved. The bombing damaged Fordo deeply, considered by the Iranians to be their best protected and most advanced nuclear enrichment, probably crippling Iran's ability to make nuclear fuel for years to come. Iran most likely still has a stockpile of uranium enriched to 60% purity, which is just below the level that is usually used in nuclear weapons, U.S. and Israeli officials said. But the officials believe it's buried under rubble, and Israeli officials believe that the only stockpile at Iran's nuclear laboratory at Isfahan is accessible despite the strikes on it. The crucial question of how long the American strikes have set back either the overall Iranian nuclear program or Iran's ability to use its existing uranium to make a crude bomb continues to be debated. But it does appear that Fordo was taken out by the attack. That's now the truth. We're getting it finally from the New York Times. But wait, there's more. The Washington Free Beacon also has a very interesting story about the assassinations of the Iranian officials. Israel successfully assassinated 19 senior Iranian nuclear scientists during the 12-day war, depriving Tehran's atomic weapons program of its most capable and experienced personnel, according to a new intelligence assessment. The military campaign evaporated decades of nuclear know-how, striking at the heart of Tehran's weapons program in a way kinetic attacks could not, according to the Institute for Science and International Security. This act weakened Iran's base for building nuclear weapons, eliminating needed expertise and hard-to-get managed experience, the organization determined. This time, the Israeli effort is different, and recovery may be far more difficult and take it longer. The report comes as American and Israeli intelligence agencies work to assess the physical damage of the 3 nuclear sites, including Fordo. While an initial classified report by the Defense Intelligence Agency suggested only moderate damage to Tehran's uranium enrichment sites, the findings were discredited as low confidence. Fresh assessments indicate the American bunker buster bombs badly damaged and potentially destroyed Fordo, while 2 other facilities were destroyed and could take years to rebuild. And now we know that the elimination of these 19 scientists, confirmed to be dead, possessed unique nuclear knowledge spanning decades, much of it centered on explosives, nuclear coding, and ballistic missiles, all of their knowledge now lost with them. The narrative was that it wasn't successful and Donald Trump wastes his time. The truth is that the combined efforts of the Americans and Israelis have set Iran back years, if not decades, from their nuclear project. The truth is always going to come out. Vision Computers would love to do business with you. Listen, let me talk to you if you're a business and you got managed IT. That's where you contract out with a company to manage your IT. Your employees, you know the system. They got to send an email. They got to file a ticket, stuff like that. You should call Vision Computers. What do you have to lose? Let me talk to those of you up in Washington State now. We got new affiliates up in Washington State. Let me talk to you for just a minute. You're in Yakima. You got a computer company, or you got a small business. You got managed IT services. They're remote anyway. Your employees got to file tickets. It's cumbersome. If you call Vision Computers at 404-COMPUTE, you can talk to them and see if they can save you money. Tell them Eric sent you. You'll save even more money. And here's the thing. Your employees, they're no longer going to have to file an email ticket. Each employee gets a special number they call. 15 seconds or less, somebody answers the phone. They can remote in if they need to. They can typically tell the employee what they need to do, get them back to business so that your business doesn't lose business. Your employees stay focused on your business, and Vision takes care of your computers. Employees don't like to file the managed IT ticket because they don't necessarily know what's happening. With Vision, their experts are so great on the phone. They can spend time with the employee, ask them questions about what's going on, figure out the problem. The employee doesn't have to try to describe it in an email, so it makes the system faster, more efficient. It keeps you going. 404-COMPUTE, that's the phone number, 404-COMPUTE. Call Vision Computers, any of you. If you're in Connecticut, if you're in Washington State, if you're in Florida, if you're in Georgia, call Vision Computers, 404-COMPUTE. Tell them Eric sent you. Talk to them about their managed IT service. They might be able to save your business some money and keep your employees even more productive. 404-COMPUTE. You can also check them out at visioncomputers.com.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
151 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Traffic pacing just wrapped up. 85 both north and southbound between Duluth and Suwanee. This took place between Highway 316 and 985. All lanes back open there. Heads up for a crash on the south side in Union City. Highway 138 right at I-85. They're blocking both sides of the Highway 138 to clear it, so expect delays. Traffic brought to you by Sam's Club. There's still time to enjoy locked-in summer value at Sam's Club till July 22nd. Prices are held on over 1,000 items. Join now and make the most of summer. Sign up for a membership at samsclub.com/join. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
What would you do with $1,000 this summer?
Hotel, pool, week at the beach, cabin in the woods.
Whatever you want to do this summer.
WSB has $1,000 to make it happen.
Thank you.
$1,000 Thursdays gives you the chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
I am so excited.
Listen for the keyword at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and 12, 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
Enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app within that hour.
You could win $1,000.
No way. Is this a joke?
Get all the info at WSBradio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays.
This Thursday from 95.5 WSB, where Atlanta wins.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, Atlanta's engagement ring and wedding band destination since 1939. Why? Hand-picked diamonds that just shine brighter at a value that can't be beat. An unbelievable selection of engagement rings and wedding bands, and because we've been jewelers for generations, we can bring your dream ring to life with full custom abilities. So when it's time for the next chapter, come see Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939, D. Geller & Son, in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
You know kids will ruin your life, right? Especially if you're a garage door. I mean, babies are adorable, don't get me wrong. But after that adorable phase where they barf and poop on everything, they turn into a cheap garage door's worst nightmare. Whacking tennis balls against the door all day, up and down every time they ride a bike. You dreamy young'uns might have the energy to start a family, but that rusty avocado green aluminum garage door that came with your house is too old for this jazz. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Modern, insulated garage doors are built to stand up to family life. They resist dents, they don't ring like a gong when you whack them with a puck, and they go up and down, super quiet, as many times as your kids change their minds. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll treat you like family. Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better. MoBetterGarage.com.
Oh, popsicle drips, muddy shoes, and summertime messes, don't let them take over your home. Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Zerorez uses their ZR water technology, no dirt-attracting soaps, no harsh chemicals, just a truly clean, healthy home. Right now, take advantage of their summer sale. Get 15% off all services, that is carpets, air ducts, rugs, tile, and more, all 15% off. Just mention Chris Chandler or book now at ZerorezAtlanta.com, and yeah, they do commercial cleaning too. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, 18-count cartons of large grade A Kroger brand eggs are on sale for $2.99 with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Hello, it's Eric Erickson here. Have you heard, I'm sure you have, Coca-Cola is putting cane sugar back in its Coke. Now, it's not true you can't get it. You have to go to the, you got to go to the international section of your local grocery store and get the Mexican Coke. That's what they call it, at least down here in the South, the Mexican Coke. It's in the glass bottles, and it's the sugar cane syrup in the Coca-Colas, and it's imported from Mexico. In the United States, they use high fructose corn syrup. What you may not know is why. There's this conspiracy out there that, oh, high fructose corn syrup, it's more addictive, you want more of it, etc. That's not really it. It's that the American federal government subsidizes the production of corn sugar or corn syrup and actually tariffs the snot out of imported sugar. We don't produce enough sugar in the United States to sustain production of soft drinks and other sugary items. So that sugar has to be imported, and it is tariffed. The result is that between the subsidies of high fructose corn syrup by the federal government and the tariffs on imported sugar, soft drink manufacturers and others moved to high fructose corn syrup. It was an economic decision. It wasn't some mass conspiracy. It was an economic decision based on federal policy. Well, Coke has decided it's going to reintroduce cane sugar, but now it's becoming clear they're not actually going to change Coca-Cola. They're going to introduce a new drink with cane sugar, contrary to what the president first said. It's not going back in regular Coke. You're still going to have to buy the Mexican Coke variety for that. It's going to go to a new one. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you try cooking with a Coke or a Dr. Pepper, for example, that uses high fructose corn syrup, it actually burns easier. If you're making certain sauces, barbecue sauces and the like, cooked sauces, now I've got a number of recipes, and you got to use Mexican Coke for them because of the sugar. They cook differently than with high fructose corn syrup, so you got to be real careful in recipes using these. Now, braises and stuff with the Coke or Dr. Pepper come great. I actually braise baby back ribs with Dr. Pepper on the smoker after I smoked them. And the high fructose corn syrup one works good up to a certain temperature, and then it does not. cane sugar soft drinks always work better for that. When we come back, there's been another ICE hoax. Reporters in America are doing their best to get ICE agents murdered around the country, and I'm beginning to believe they know that that is what they're doing. It's the press corps trying to get federal agents killed simply for doing their jobs. This new one is going to blow your mind. I mentioned it just a little bit yesterday. Now I've got all the details.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Y'all, there's a way for you to beat tariffs and still get that new kitchen you want. You Google Frugal Kitchens. Right now, you book an appointment with Frugal Kitchens. They're going to give you the Frugal Price Lock, where you're going to be able to get your kitchen remodeled with Frugal Kitchens for a great price with $1 million look, and you'll lock in pre-tariff pricing. Google Frugal Kitchens today, book your appointment this month, and you'll save big and increase the value of your home with that kitchen you've been wanting. Google Frugal Kitchens today.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long.
And your budget is tight.
And your village is busy.
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/heard.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. Calls today for the release of a local Hispanic journalist who remains in ICE custody in Georgia.
Even though the charges against Mario Guevara have been dropped, he remains jailed at a South Georgia immigration facility. His daughter, Catherine, says the family feels stuck in a nightmare.
The pain we feel is indescribable.
A judge granted Guevara bond, but ICE officials appealed, leading to his continued detention.
There are many fears tied to the uncertainty of what lies ahead for my dad. But more than fear, I feel anger. Because this should not be happening.
A spokesperson for ICE declined to comment. From the state capitol, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
94 degrees in Atlanta, very hot today, but cooler temperatures on the way tomorrow. What about the chance for storms? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. New this hour, a Delta Airlines flight heading to Atlanta stops just before takeoff in Mexico City when another plane flies just 200 feet above it. The Delta plane had to slam on its brakes after reaching about 60 miles per hour. The Atlanta-based airline says the crew aborted takeoff after noticing another aircraft landing on the same runway. The flight returned to the gate and departed later. Delta says it appreciates the flight crew's actions to maintain situational awareness. A homicide investigation underway in Gwinnett County after a man's body is found outside of a church. Someone passing by Cannon United Methodist Church on Webb Gin House Road found the body in the parking lot around 6 this morning and called police.
On arrival, officers located a Hispanic male believed to be in his 20s and was found with at least one gunshot wound.
Sergeant James Lawson with Gwinnett Police says they believe this is an isolated incident and is not connected to the church. Police are working to identify the man and any possible suspects. A burglary in Brookhaven leads to a police chase that ends with a car crashing into a house on Reading Road. It started when someone called 911 to report suspects breaking into storage units at an apartment complex on Blair Circle. One suspect is in custody, but police are searching for 2 others. No one in the home is injured. Inflation has many parents worried about back-to-school shopping this year. 30% of the shoppers surveyed by Bankrate say prices have them rethinking how they shop.
Back-to-school shopping is straining a lot of Americans' finances.
Bankrate's Ted Rossman says before you start shopping for back-to-school, make sure you don't rebuy something you already have lying around the house, and check your community pages on social media for gently used clothes and school supplies. It is now 2:02. This news is sponsored by Bread Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Steel Horse Law knows that your bike is made of steel, but your heart is made of gold. If someone causes you to lay your bike down, you deserve the very best from an experienced firm that knows bikers because they are bikers. Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. They're local, so they understand the changes to Georgia law, and you'll meet directly with your attorney, not just an assistant like the mega firms. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
You've thought about assisted living for your parents, but maybe the right answer is renovating your home and having mom or dad move in.
I'm Richard, Chief Architect at Sketch House, where we create custom architectural drawings for homeowners looking to remodel. Why get drawings first? You'll know what's possible. You'll be able to get pricing and compare builders apples to apples, and builders love drawings. You'll get bumped to the top of their list with drawings in hand. Let Sketch House help you make a decision about your aging parents at a fixed price. Visit sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S.com.
When markets get rocky, the worst thing you can do is nothing. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president and founder of Nicholas Wealth Management. Times like these demand action and a plan you can trust. That's why we rely on our trademark Retire Ready Bucket strategy. This strategy is designed to place a percentage of your portfolio into lower risk, income-producing income bucket, aiming to generate steady cash flow for the first 10 to 15 years of retirement. Meanwhile, your growth bucket is filled with dividend and growth stocks, which has time to recover when markets are going crazy. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a time to sit down with our team to review your plan. This strategy was crafted by experience. It's battle tested, and it's how you aim to keep your retirement on track even when the markets are not. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. At Nicholas Wealth Management, we're prepared. Are you? Don't wait for the next headline to shake your confidence. Call Nicholas Wealth today, 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. Nicholas Wealth Management. Retire ready.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Neither the information nor any opinion expressed is to be construed as solicitation to buy or sell a security or personalized investment, tax, or legal advice.
It is now 2:05 and time for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center this afternoon. It's Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. Still seeing some brake lights on that north side perimeter driving through the right lane work zone, 285 westbound. That right lane is blocked in Sandy Springs right around Roswell Road, slowing you from Ashford Dunwoody Road. On the south side, they're in the process of clearing up this crash on Highway 138. That's Jonesboro Road right at I-85, slowing both Highway 138 and the I-85 ramps to Jonesboro Road, and 85 north and southbound getting a little heavy in Norcross, just volume though before and after Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy and hot today, high 95. That's trending about 5 degrees above average. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy with an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Tomorrow's high is 86.
Storm tracker radar right now showing no rain in the metro area. It is 94 in Duluth, 91 in Villa Rica, also 91 in Fayetteville. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome. It's Eric Erickson here across the United States. If you're just tuning in, you didn't hear earlier, a couple of people have sent emails asking. My wife's scans are good. They can't get rid of the tumors in her lungs, but they've been successful now almost 9 years keeping them from spreading outside her lungs or growing. So that's what we hope for every time is no growth, and there's no growth in the tumors. So she is doing well. Tagrisso continues to keep these tumors from growing. So thank you. It is, I was talking to my friend of mine earlier and before the show started, and he's like, you always talk about the sword of Damocles. Are y'all familiar with the story? I assume most of you are, that there was he was a tyrant, and tyrant wasn't actually necessarily a bad word back then. They didn't have kings, they called them tyrants, and he was a tyrant. His name was Damocles, and a guy came in and insisted that the tyrant had an easy job. And so what Damocles did is he took his sword, tied with a single horsehair above his throne, and made the guy who thought Damocles has an easy job sit in the chair all day, wondering if that horsehair was going to snap and the sword was going to fall. Or was Damocles the guy who sat it there? I can't remember. One way or the other, though, it's about the sword of Damocles is a sword held over someone, suspended from a single horsehair. You never know when that horsehair is going to snap and the sword is going to fall. And with metronomic regularity, we do these scans. It was every 3 months. They are now okay with us doing it every 4 months. So in 4 months, we will go back and do it all over again. But I appreciate the prayers and the well wishes. It's great to know things are fine. We will be married 25 years this October. And it was 9 years ago that my wife was diagnosed with this lung cancer. And she's been hanging on. We saw one kid get out of high school. She was given, my wife was, 9 years ago, was given 2 years to live. And 9 years later, she's still here. She never thought she'd get to see our daughter graduate from high school. My wife was in, I think, first grade when her mom died of breast cancer. And it was horrifying to her to think that she wouldn't make it to my daughter's high school graduation, and she did. And now my son's 2 years away from graduating high school, and so Christy's got this now goal of getting him out of the house in 2 years. But I got to tell y'all, so it is her baby. He's got 2 more years, and we are 2 years away from him graduating, and he wants to go to Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama. He wants to be an architect. And my wife is already, we all, again, 2 years away, 2 years away. That is more than 700 days away. And my wife is already, I just don't know what's going to happen when he goes to college. Maybe we convince him to be closer to, you got over 700 days to enjoy the kid, and then kick him out of the house and stop spending my money. We love our kids. We have good relationship with our kids. I got to tell you, it's everybody talks to, oh, your kids, when they get old, they're going to shut. I wish my kids would shut up. They don't stop talking. And everyone's like, oh, it's such a good thing. It is until you're eating dinner, and it is a comedy show around our dinner table, and the food is cold by the time they shut up and we can eat. They're good kids. And I'm glad to have my wife here with us on this journey. Thank you for your prayers. Now, I got to talk about this. So yesterday, I passively mentioned this story. Here was the headline from the Morning Call in Pennsylvania. Allentown grandfather's family was told he died in ICE custody. Then they learned he's alive in a hospital in Guatemala, they say. That is how the story originated. The original tweets are being walked back by the Morning Call News in Pennsylvania because it was all a hoax. What's just notable to me is how it really blew up the other day on social media with that sensational headline. And many of the people who tweeted it out and demanded accountability from ICE, they're nowhere to be seen today. But Immigration and Customs Enforcement is denying the story shared by the family of the 82-year-old Allentown man who they say was taken into custody at a Philadelphia immigration office and ended up in Guatemala. It's a massive scandal that the media ran with this to begin with, and now is putting everything behind paywalls. Having gotten the clicks and the advertising, now they're putting all the stories behind the paywall. The story was a complete and total scam. Here's Bill Malugin from Fox News. It appears another hoax has been attempted. Family members of an 82-year-old Chilean man in Pennsylvania went to the media claiming ICE arrested him while renewing a green card in Philly, that he had died in ICE custody, then that he was secretly deported to Guatemala. The story went viral online. It appears to have been all made up by the family, which has since gone dark and stopped responding to the press. Here's what happened since the story first ran in the Morning Call, an Allentown, Pennsylvania newspaper. Reports in Chile show a man with his same name and date of birth died in Chile in 2019. Guatemala says they have no record of him being deported to their country. Department of Homeland Security says there's no record of him appearing at any green card appointment in the Philly area, and they say ICE never arrested him. Department of Homeland Security says they never deported him, and their only record of him entering the U.S. is in 2015 from Chile via the visa waiver program, not an asylum grant from the 1980s, as the family claimed. His granddaughter claimed he was sick in a Guatemala hospital with pneumonia after ICE deported him, and that he was traumatized after first claiming he was dead. A doctor at the hospital she claims he was at says there's no record of him being there. Department of Homeland Security is saying it's another hoax designed to demonize ICE. Department of Homeland Security is calling it journalistic malpractice. The Morning Call has now updated the story. Here's a post from a guy named Brian Allen. He is the host of something called the Allen Podcast. He has 183,600 followers on social media, on Twitter. Breaking: ICE secretly deported Luis Leon, an 82-year-old torture survivor and U.S. legal resident of nearly 40 years, after he walked into an immigration office to replace a lost green card. Instead of processing the request, ICE handcuffed him, detained his wife for 10 hours, and later told the family through a fake lawyer that he was dead. Turns out ICE quietly transferred him through a Minnesota detention center and dumped him in Guatemala, a country he has zero ties to. There's no deportation paperwork, no public record. His family only found him alive after relatives in Chile tracked him to a Guatemalan hospital. Leon suffers from diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart issues. The DOJ is now under fire, but this is the Trump-era immigration machine still in motion, cruel, unaccountable, and lawless. If they can disappear an elderly, law-abiding U.S. resident, they can disappear anyone. ICE agents handcuffed Leon on the spot. They detained his wife for 10 hours. No explanation, no due process. Luis Leon wasn't dead. ICE quietly rerouted him through Minnesota to Guatemala. The family found him alive after relatives located him, days after ICE claimed he was deceased. Follow me for more. He actually does. Follow for more. And now listen to this. This is from 14 hours ago from the same guy who helped this story go viral. Department of Homeland Security is now denying that Luis Leon was ever detained or deported. Guatemala says there's no record either. That's a sharp reversal from earlier reporting. But if nobody detained him, who told the family he was dead? The truth doesn't vanish because the government says so. We're digging deeper. We're digging deeper. The truth doesn't vanish because the government says, who told the family he was dead? Does this person think maybe the family was lying? Maybe the family was lying. But I don't want to focus on the family. I don't want to focus on the family. I want to focus on the newspaper. Because it was the local newspaper, like KTLA in Los Angeles amplified the story of the woman in Los Angeles who, you'll recall, she was surrounded by federal agents at a Trader Joe's parking lot. They detained her. They took her to the border. They told her that she needed to sign a self-deportation statement and walk across the border, and she refused. So they put her in a warehouse with only water and no food, and they held her there for days, and it turns out it was fabricated. The mayor of Los Angeles amplified the story. KTLA in Los Angeles, which has done a number of anti-ICE stories, amplified this, and now this is the Morning Call in Pennsylvania. They too, they're the ones who amplified the story. Will the reporters be disciplined? Will the reporters be fired? Will there be any action against the reporters who helped this story go viral? They clearly didn't run all the traps. They just wanted to believe. The American Press Corps is complicit in trying to get ICE agents murdered. Did you see the video the other day? I think it was in New York City where ICE agents were fired upon and shot. The Democrats demand that they be masked so they can be exposed. The media amplifies stories that simply are not true. The Democratic and progressive activists with large social media followings amplify the stories that are not true, that are made up, that simply are not real. And it puts ICE agents at risk. It puts ICE agents at risk. It jeopardizes the lives of federal employees just simply doing their job. You know, during COVID, there were a lot of people who did say things that simply weren't true to put fear into other people. Now, a lot of the stuff turned out to be true, but a lot of people said things that simply weren't true, and it was designed to target and harass officials who worked in healthcare for the government at the state and the federal level, who really were just trying to keep people safe from this virus. And the media and the left, they attacked, denounced, ridiculed, harassed, 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 harassed did anything to harass the federal officials. And now it's the same reporters who were defending the health officials who are berating and slandering the ICE agents. It's wild to see. By the way, there's some breaking news happening here from Fox News is reporting. This one's a big one. Ozzy Osbourne dead at 76. Wow. Boy, these stories just keep making me feel old. I got to say, when I saw Kobe react, I was like, oh gosh, we've been taken down. We're off the air. Nope, it's the breaking news. Ozzy Osbourne dead at 76. My goodness. I want to make a bat joke, but it probably would be poor taste too soon. We're just getting these reports in. So there's your breaking news. Ozzy Osbourne is dead. Reports out of Great Britain that he has passed away, according to Fox News. And it looks like his family has confirmed the reports that he has passed away. Prayers for the family. My goodness. Sharon and the kids. Now, when we come back, I got to move into the gerrymandering story of the Democrats have decided that if Republicans try to re-gerrymander Texas right now, they're going to do it in their states. There's only a big problem. They've constitutionally hamstrung their ability to do gerrymandering because they passed constitutional amendments in their states to hurt Republicans, and now suddenly they're hamstrung and they can't hurt Republicans the way they want to hurt Republicans, while Republicans can gerrymander to them. Crazy story. We'll talk about it and take your phone calls when we come back. 877-973-7425.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
220 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still seeing some brake lights now on 985, both north and southbound, as part of that traffic pacing they've been doing between Buford, Suwanee, and Duluth, so just be mindful of that. Just had some trouble clear 75-85 southbound before University Avenue, causing a few brake lights from I-20. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $110 million. Now with bigger jackpots, better odds, and a built-in multiplier. Drawings every Tuesday and Friday. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
You're by the pool.
You're relaxing.
You're sipping a drink.
Someone brings you a towel.
Adjust the umbrella.
Sound like a fantasy?
It's not.
This is Sandra from Grayson, Georgia. I just won $1,000 from WSB.
WSB's $1,000 Thursdays this Thursday.
Listen for the keyword at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and 12, 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
Enter the keyword at WSBRadio.com or the WSB app.
I just put the keyword in, and oh my God.
Win $1,000. Get all the info at WSBRadio.com.
Thank you.
$1,000
Thursdays from 95.5 WSB.
Where Atlanta wins.
When markets get rocky, the worst thing you can do is nothing. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president and founder of Nicholas Wealth Management. Times like these demand action and a plan you can trust. That's why we rely on our trademark Retire Ready Bucket strategy. This strategy is designed to place a percentage of your portfolio into lower risk, income producing income bucket, aiming to generate steady cash flow for the first 10 to 15 years of retirement. Meanwhile, your growth bucket is filled with dividend and growth stocks, which has time to recover when markets are going crazy. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a time to sit down with our team to review your plan. This strategy was crafted by experience. It's battle tested, and it's how you aim to keep your retirement on track even when the markets are not. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. At Nicholas Wealth Management, we're prepared. Are you? Don't wait for the next headline to shake your confidence. Call Nicholas Wealth today, 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. Nicholas Wealth Management. Retire ready.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Neither the information nor any opinion expressed is to be construed as solicitation to buy or sell a security or personalized investment, tax, or legal advice.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. High five, everybody. High five.
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25. New customers only. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Scott Slade, and you and I go back a ways, don't we? I started on the radio in Atlanta in the summer of 1984. 41 years working with wonderful people and having a mission to serve our great listeners. You know who else has been serving their customers for most of those years? Ragsdale Heating and Air. Coming up on 30 years of taking care of their customers like me, doing the job right with competence and compassion. These are just great people at Ragsdale, with many employees with the company 10, 20, even 30 years. And when you get that kind of continued dedication to real service from employees who really care, it pays off. Witness over 10,000 five-star reviews from their many years in business. So whether you need an emergency visit to fix your air conditioning in the summer heat, or you're ready for a brand new system, I hope you'll contact Ragsdale. I know they're the name you can trust for plumbing, electrical, and insulation service, too. It's easy to schedule your visit online at ragsdaleair.com or give one of their many friendly customer service reps a call. Going on 3 decades now, Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
Home improvement projects can be a stressful guessing game. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus, the highest level of communication. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We'll make you comfortable and keep you informed with every step of your project.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus, siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Your non-stop news source. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Now at 877-973-7425.
We'll get to gerrymandering. It's a bigger topic. I do need to tell you there's some other breaking news. So 2 bits of breaking news. First, Ozzy Osbourne, the musician, has died at 76 years old. And also, the president has decided to replace Lena Baba, it had been his attorney. He made her the acting U.S. attorney in New Jersey. He is now replacing her, moving her out of that office. There have been issues related to her confirmation in the Senate, it seems. Those 2 pieces of breaking news. But also this from the Federalist. The White House has introduced a rule to cancel Joe Biden's paper straw mandate. Thank goodness. The official rule, finalized by the Office of Management and Budget and published July 21st, will end the mandate forcing every executive agency to purchase paper straws for use in all their installations across the country, including from military bases and Veterans Affairs facilities, according to Kevin Rhodes, senior advisor at OMB. The new rule will require government contractors to only offer straws that have the strength and durability of plastic. Rhodes, the nominee for Administrator for Federal Procurement Policy, told the Federalist this does not necessarily mean plastic, but it does mean straws that function in an equivalent way would be required. Biden intended to phase out paper straws or other single-use plastic items by 2027. This will allow them to come back into the federal government. They've been safe for a while now in most parts of the country in restaurants. My daughter likes to go to Ted's Montana Grill. There aren't a lot of them around the country anymore. It's a restaurant chain that Ted Turner started. It's been in decline, I think, outside of Georgia. There are several of them in Georgia. They've actually got really good food. They used to have one by my office. I would eat there all the time. COVID kind of eliminated it. Now they built the hospital on top of it. But they got great milkshakes. They have the best snickerdoodles. I love snickerdoodles. But they have paper, and they've always had paper. They had paper straws when paper, and you go to the bathroom and they have actual like borax instead of hand soap. Super environmentally friendly. Got fantastic food. The Cadillac Jack with grilled chicken is the best sandwich in a restaurant. But I never liked the paper straws. Never liked the paper straws. And then the Democrats insisted on paper straws everywhere. It's like they insisted on using the reusable bags at grocery stores. And then it turns out during COVID, we discovered that the reusable bags are far less sanitary than the single-use plastic bags that aren't actually single-use. That's a marketing phrase invented by the environmentalists to be derisive of plastic. Not a single parent in America or dog owner has a single-use plastic bag. They're poop collection devices and dirty diaper collection devices after they've gone to the grocery store. So what did people have to do? They had to buy single-use plastic bags to pick up the dog poop and put the diapers in. Environmentalists just want us to be miserable. That's what they want. Sweaty and miserable, cold and starving. But the snail darter will survive. Old Glory Bank could be your bank. They have a no-fee checking and no-fee savings accounts. They've got premium checking accounts, premium savings accounts as well with increased rates. In fact, the premium checking account, you can get interest on your account. There's a monthly fee unless you're a veteran or first responder, and then you get that waived. Go check it all out at oldglorybank.com/Eric, oldglorybank.com/ERICK. You go to Old Glory Bank, they're an online bank. You don't have a physical branch, but it's okay. If you want to deposit cash, they figure that out. They've got a great app. They've got great online bill pay. They've got a great debit card system. I have enjoyed using Old Glory Bank myself. You can too. If your kid needs a custodial account, great place to get them started. They are member FDIC insured. They equal housing lender. They do home loans. They do car loans. They do CDs. They're a fully operational bank. You can check them out at oldglorybank.com/Eric. Takes less than 8 minutes to fill out the form online. oldglorybank.com/ERICK. Check out Old Glory Bank today.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. It's just in. Ozzy Osbourne has died. There are multiple reports saying the heavy metal and reality TV star died at the age of 76 after a series of ailments and surgeries. Osbourne enjoyed a successful solo career after starting off as the lead singer of Black Sabbath. A close call for a Delta flight on its way from Mexico City to Atlanta. The pilot has to slam on the brakes after reaching about 60 miles an hour. When the crew noticed another plane landing on the same runway, the two planes came within about 200 feet of each other. Family members of Hispanic journalist Mario Guevara speak out today about his continued immigration detention in Georgia. His daughter Catherine says they feel stuck in a nightmare.
Since he's been detained, our family has felt an emptiness that we cannot begin to fill.
Guevara was arrested while covering a protest in DeKalb County, but the charges against him were dropped. Attorneys for ICE have appealed a judge's bond order, so he remains in a South Georgia detention facility. A murder investigation underway in Gwinnett County after a man is found shot to death in the parking lot of Cannon United Methodist Church on Webb Gin House Road.
We do not believe there's any association with the church itself.
Sergeant James Lawson with Gwinnett Police calls it an isolated incident. He says they're working to identify the man and possible suspects. Three juveniles are now in custody after a boy was shot in the head in a Mableton neighborhood. Cobb Police responded to the 1900 block of Paget Drive just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon and found the boy. He is now in critical condition. It is 2:32. This news sponsored by FGA Roofing.
Oh, popsicle drips, muddy shoes, and summertime messes. Don't let them take over your home. Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Zerorez uses their ZR water technology, no dirt attracting soaps, no harsh chemicals, just a truly clean, healthy home. Right now, take advantage of their summer sale. Get 15% off all services, that is carpets, air ducts, rugs, tile, and more, all 15% off. Just mention Chris Chandler or book now at ZeroResAtlanta.com, and yet they do commercial cleaning too. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. In a perfect world, when you have a plumbing issue, you want a plumber that answers the phone when you call, shows up on time, respects your home, and tells you exactly what needs to be done, quotes you a price, and does the job right the first time. They appreciate your business, and Superior Plumbing becomes your plumber for life. Call Superior Plumbing to come fix your plumbing issues.
Superior, the honest one. Call 770-422-PLUM.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Men's Choice Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Katz with Choice Men's Health. Regardless of your age or medical condition, Choice Men's Health can safely restore your potency. Our customized solutions can eliminate your problem in just one visit. There's no pain, no surgery, and it's affordable.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health. The only choice for your health.
Joel, it's Eric. I know some of you are concerned about tariff prices impacting things in your lives, including kitchen remodels. Well, listen to this. You can book an appointment this month with Frugal Kitchens and get the Frugal Price Lock. They will lock you into pre-tariff prices. All you got to do is Google Frugal Kitchens for details, and they're offering 0% financing. You want your kitchen remodeled, you want to add value to your home, you're worried about tariffs, here's your opportunity. Google Frugal Kitchens. Start that kitchen redesign today.
At 2:34, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Still seeing the brake lights on the north side perimeter, getting slower now. 285 westbound back towards Chamblee-Dunwoody Road as you head over into Sandy Springs with that right lane construction between Roswell Road and Riverside Drive. Downtown, seeing the brake lights as well. 75-85 south from 17th Street down toward North Avenue. Northbound, you're slow leaving I-20 up toward Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds and trending hotter today. High 95, lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, breezy, and cooling down to a high of 86. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms possible tomorrow afternoon.
93 in Stockbridge, also 93 in Ackworth. It's 92 in Tucker. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, would be very happy to have you. So, I want to talk about gerrymandering because there's a lot of conversation right now about the Democrats possibly deciding to carve up mid-decade redistricting, California, New York, New Jersey, and several other states, to make it harder and harder and harder for the Republicans to win those seats. Now, this came about, just so you know, because the Republicans have considered carving up Texas to pick up some seats. I am not a proponent of mid-decade redistricting. I think that every decade the Constitution says a redistrict, and only in very limited circumstances is mid-decade redistricting warranted. And one of the very few exceptions I can think of is there was, for example, a situation in Georgia back in the year 2002 where the Democrats who controlled Georgia at the time did really genuinely brutal redistricting. And their redistricting was designed to, as Republicans grew in numbers in the state, it was designed to restrict Republicans from being able to take power, even though they saw inevitably it was going to happen. I mean, the Democrats in Georgia did things like multi-member districts in the state legislature, which had not been done in the state since like the Civil War, basically, where you could pile 3 or 4 people into a single district, and it was designed to be as punitive as possible to the GOP. Now, of course, you know, people in the media, they don't talk about stuff like this because only Republicans punitively gerrymander. The Democrats always get a pass. But the Democrats did it, and it was extremely brutal, and the Republicans were able to win nonetheless. And so they decided to redo the districts. Even though it was an uphill battle, they decided to do it. And I think it was a
It was a good thing that they did. But otherwise, if nothing's changed, I have a hard time with mid-decade redistricting because it takes you almost a decade to figure out where you live in your district. And then they change the lines again. Doing it every couple of years is I think, not a good thing to do. However, let's be real honest here. Be very honest. You and I know this has happened in the past. There has been mid-decade redistricting. Democrats and Republicans alike have done it. And Republicans are looking at Texas and thinking, you know what, we could make some of our really safe seats a little less safe, but guarantee more Republicans get elected. And so the Democrats are thinking, you know what, if they do that in Texas, Gavin Newsom will do it in California. The problem is a number of Democratic states didn't like the fact that Republicans were eking out wins in redistricting that they shouldn't do. And then some states like California, they got so comfortable with the fact that Republicans were never going to win again, they handed their redistricting over to nonpartisan commissions. Now, California is not really nonpartisan. It's so stacked in favor of the Democrats. The Democrats shaped the district redistricting commission so much, they claim it's nonpartisan, and it's really not nonpartisan. Nonetheless, they've, in California, amended their constitution to such an extent it's almost legally impossible for them to do mid-decade redistricting now. New Jersey and New York are the same ways. They've established these independent commissions. The Democrats have drawn lines through independent commissions, and remember very famously as well in New York, the Supreme Court threw out their redistricting as unconstitutional, and they had to go back and fix it. The reality is this just escalates the stakes for everyone. And, you know, Mr. Murphy has this great law. And this is why I think both sides should be very careful about mid-decade redistricting because of Murphy's law. Anything that can go wrong is going to go wrong. And time again, we see this. In fact, part of the problem that Republicans are facing right now is that the Republicans in a lot of states redrew districts off of the census from COVID. Now let's remind ourselves about COVID. Whether this isn't about whether you think it was real or not, or bad or not, or whatever. This is about in 2020, the United States of America redistricted. And before they redistricted, the redistricting really happened in 2021. Before they redistricted in 2020, they had to take a census. And it was real hard. In 2020, you've got a invisible virus nobody can see, and you've got a stranger showing up and knocking on your door to ask you how many people in your house, what are their names, what are their birthdays, how many toilets do you have, and all that stuff. A lot of people didn't participate in the census. A lot of people did not answer the doors for the census takers. They didn't fill out the forms, and there was a massive undercount in the census. In fact, there's been a lot of statistical data that's come out after the 2020 census. It was the most inaccurate census we've done in decades, if not ever. It missed a lot of people, not illegal aliens. It missed American citizens. People didn't want census takers at their house. There was a massive PR effort from governors around the country, a Republican and Democrat alike, to get people to fill out the census. And the reason was because government resources are allocated based on census data. It didn't help at the time. Donald Trump was running for office. He was upset that the Supreme Court said that he could ask a question about citizenship, but the procedure was done wrong, so it couldn't go into that census. It had to wait until 2030 to be asked. He didn't like that information. He didn't like it. He was upset about it. And the result was a botched census. Democrats, you should know, by the way, increasingly are willing to tell the truth about why the census matters and why illegal immigration matters. This is Yvette Clarke. She was doing an interview. She's a Democratic member of the House of Representatives. Let me tell you what state she's in. She is in New York.
This is a little bit of an older clip, by the way, but listen to this.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here.
I need more immigrants in my district just for redistricting purposes. That kind of gives away the game. They want illegal immigrants in these districts. And so the Republican gamble now is that you redistrict now based on the flawed census numbers. We know we have better statistical data now. We can draw the lines a little better than we could in 2021, and we'll lock in the gains. And the Democrats are like, oh, if you do that, we're going to do it in our states. Well, the Democrats have felt so confident for so long about themselves that they precluded themselves from doing mid-decade redistricting. They legally, in many of these states, are not allowed by the Constitution to do mid-decade redistricting. And they put that in place, saying, well, if Republicans ever get power accidentally, they're not going to be able to redistrict and we'll come back in. They did it to themselves, and now the Republicans are able to take advantage of it. But I've seen this play out many times before. Republicans and Democrats alike sometimes get too clever by half when they draw their districts. And in the process, they make districts more swingy than they should be, and events change things. And you may have a district that at some point looks like it's going to be a Republican district or looks like it's going to be a Democratic district, and it turns out not to be when the voters actually show up. And we know in off-year elections, the party out of power tends to show up more. They tend to be more engaged. They tend to be more enthusiastic. There is a real question about the president's base and the Republican base, whether or not they can actually show up. Virginia is going to be a good test case this year. Virginia's statewide offices are up for grabs. The governor, lieutenant governor, the attorney general. Will Republicans show up? There's actually some warning signs for the Democrats in Virginia. There actually are real warning signs in Virginia that the Democrat base may not be as mobilized as Democrats expected, and it might help Winsome Sears. It might help Jason Miyares and the others hold on from a Democratic wave that had otherwise been projected. We'll find out. But if the Democrats show up in mass in Virginia this year, it's a kind of a warning sign to the GOP that next year you are going to get Democratic strength. And if you do get Democratic strength and you've redrawn the Republican seats to be less Republican and a little more swingy, thinking you're still going to be protected, Murphy's Law may come into effect. And the same thing could happen to the Democrats eventually. I think you got to be real careful in how you approach this stuff. I understand that the Republicans are worried and the Republicans want to pad their margins, but you know what? Go do a really good job in the districts you have. Go put boots on the ground in these districts. Get your congressmen knocking on doors. Get your congressmen seen in the district. I really don't think when voters get to the ballot box in November of next year, they're going to say, yeah, I really hated that reconciliation package in 2025 that kept my taxes from going up. I don't think we're going to get that at all. I genuinely don't. But I do think that the party out of power tends to have a little more strength in off-year elections. And if Republicans decide, too clever by half, to make their districts a little less Republican, a little more swingy, to try to pad their numbers, get some more people elected, they could cost themselves more seats. It's a dangerous game. They better be careful. But the Gavin Newsom threats, I don't buy them. One, I think there's a constitutional problem in California, and also I think it's harder for the Democrats in California to draw more Democrats than they've already drawn when they've already got a supposedly nonpartisan commission that's actually highly, highly partisan. Good luck trying to eke out a few more Democratic seats. You yourselves could run afoul of Murphy's Law. I dare the Democrats to do it, to try it, and to run into the legal challenge as well. I just think it's bad precedent to do. But if the Republicans are going to do it, they at least need to be careful and make sure they don't dilute their strength so much that if there is a big Democratic wave next year, that they lose even more seats than otherwise. I think the Senate is fine for the GOP. And by the way, Susan Collins has announced that she is going to run for re-election in Maine, so that takes Maine off the table for the Democrats by and large. She's a prolific campaigner. People in Maine really like her. She's got 59-60% approval rating. It helps that she stands up to and defies Donald Trump, and it helps that she's the chairman of the Appropriations Committee of the Senate. All that works in her favor for re-election.
But the GOP's got to find somebody good in Georgia. It's got to find somebody good in North Carolina. A buddy of mine texted me yesterday and said, Erickson, why aren't you running for the Senate in Georgia? No way on God's good earth would I run for the United States Senate. There is no way I would run for the United States Senate. My wife would literally murder me. My wife keeps a bag of Quikrete in our garage. People think I'm making this up. It's true. She keeps a bag of Quikrete in our garage. Says if I ever run for office again, I'm going under that bag of Quikrete in the backyard. And I believe her. I trust me. I believe her. I'm not running for the Senate, but somebody in Georgia's got to run that's good. Somebody in North Carolina's got to run that's good. And this mess in Texas with Ken Paxton and his divorce and everything else, that potentially costs us a Republican seat if the Democrats show up in mass because Paxton's not well liked by independents or Democrats and even some Republicans. The Republicans in Texas, because they dislike John Cornyn, could be costing them this seat. Cornyn might need to step aside so somebody else runs. Somebody good, somebody better than Paxton. It's a dangerous game both parties are playing right now. Americans for Prosperity is trying to wade through this all and get you on board as a freedom fighter for common sense conservative reforms and to knock on doors next year to mobilize the base to turn out to help the GOP. If you want to be involved, go to americansforprosperity.org and find out more. But the website that you really need to go sign up at is afpvolunteer.com. AFPvolunteer.com is a great website to go to so you're involved in the best, the largest, the leading grassroots organization in this country. They happen to be on the right, Americans for Prosperity. They try to get people involved in the political process. They try to get people involved in common sense conservative policy advocacy, try to get you informed so you can explain what's going on to your neighbors and friends, try to get you involved with your state legislature, your local government, even Congress. Americans for Prosperity has been putting points on the board for conservatives for quite a while, advocating things like school choice, tax reform, common sense immigration reform, deregulation on small businesses, support for families. They're a great group, and if nothing else, they just keep you really informed in the process. You go to americansforprosperity.org to find out about the group and sign up as a volunteer at afpvolunteer.com. That's afpvolunteer.com.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
250 Cool-Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Definitely starting to see the rush hour already filling in with 400 northbound. Starting to get a little sluggish in Sandy Springs as you pass the North Springs MARTA station. 85 northbound leaving the Chamblee-Dorville area. It's already seeing some brake lights from 285 up toward Indian Trail and Norcross. And 285 southbound also getting heavier through Clarkston, passing Highway 78. Traffic brought to you by your neighborhood Kroger Pharmacy. Kroger Pharmacy welcomes Express Scripts, Medicare D, and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. You can transfer prescriptions at Kroger.com/payerupdate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Finding cures for childhood cancer. It's been our passion for years at WSB.
It's the 25th annual WSB Radio Carathon this Thursday and Friday.
And we need your help raising money to find and fund cures for childhood cancers and blood disorders.
More information in the WSB Radio app.
Or online at WSBradio.com. Thank you for your support of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Only inches separate you from the heavy rain trying to infiltrate your home. If your old roof is leaking, think of Findlay First for a remarkable roof replacement. Schedule a free roof analysis. FindlayRoofing.com.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. People often ask me why our mattresses last so long. The answer is simple. We build them right. Not only are OMF mattresses durable, they give you peace of mind from day one. When you invest in a mattress from OMF, you're investing in better sleep tonight and smart savings for years to come. No more frequent replacements, no more wasted time shopping. To learn more about the true value of durability, visit originalmattress.com and read our latest blog on getting the most from your mattress investment.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we know that convenience is key. That's why we've made mattress shopping simple and stress-free. Shop in-store or online, whatever works best for you. No high-pressure sales tactics or fake promotions. Our prices are clearly marked, and we openly compare our products to other brands. With our streamlined selection, you won't be overwhelmed by duplicate options, and our 365-day comfort policy provides for peace of mind. Experience the ease of buying factory direct. Visit OMF today for better sleep tonight.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire Ready with David Nicholas of Nicholas Wealth Management Saturday at 6 to get answers to your retirement. Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Summer is here, so if you're thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can sell your home quickly and for maximum value. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. You can skip all the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly without the stress of showings, open houses, or costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed all-cash offer allows you to sell your home in as little as 21 days and move when you're ready. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Giving you the truth, not the talking points. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Well, you know, the left, which went out of its way to insist there was no recession when Joe Biden was president, even though there was a recession. It was clear there was a recession. We met the definition of recession: 2 quarters negative economic growth, and there was, that's not really the definition. It's been widely held definition. Well, we're not in a recession, except the Democrats have been working overtime to find some recession that they can say that we're in. They have found the recession that they can blame on Donald Trump. This is the headline: a sex recession. Why Gen Z is saying no. That's right. Generation Z has a problem with getting it on. Specifically, what is? Have you? That's the website for that scared this mess out of me. Specifically, they're having performance anxiety. It's been called a sex recession. According to a reporter who used to be at Vice News, Generation Z, born between 1990 and the early 2000s, after millennials, they're in a recession of the libido. It's all Donald Trump's fault. No, I kid you not. It is Donald Trump's fault, friends. It is the stress of living in Trump's America, particularly the issues related to climate change, gun control, and abortion. Generation Z is in a sex recession. They have found something to blame on Donald Trump. This is, you knew this was going to happen. Of course you knew this was going to happen. It's not an economic recession. It is a procreation recession. Well, I mean, they're not even attempting to procreate because there's no abortion for them, they believe, so they don't want to have kids anymore. So, I mean, I started to say hands off, but apparently that's the problem. Is now it's all hands on, and that's it. That's about it for Generation Z out there. They're not doing it because, you know, if they did, they could be fostering a little carbon outputter who could kill us all. And then, I mean, the little carbon outputter, then they can't abort the carbon output. They can't even do post-birth abortion, even though they got access to the guns. They get in trouble for it. So they're not doing it. They live in horror. And this is all Donald Trump's fault. They want you to know. I got to tell you, I've known the left was going to try to find a recession to blame on Donald. They've been hoping, wish casting for a recession. And now, you know, Goldman Sachs Bank of America, Citibank, JP Morgan, they're all coming out and saying, JP Morgan, they're all coming out and saying, actually, the risk of a recession in the economy has declined because the tariffs weren't as aggressive as first announced, and the economy is doing well, and there's not a recession, and the Democrats are like, we got to go find one. We got to find a recession. And then, of course, the little deviants of the Democratic Party, this is where they would go immediately. Of course, they would say, we found our recession. Sex, yes. Generation Z, having problems. Honestly, given the neuroses of Generation Z, it's probably not a bad thing. They're not creating kids because we just have even more neurotics than we're already dealing with Generation Z. Reminds me of my son. He saw some Generation Z something online, and he looked at me. He says, Dad, I know I'm a part of this, but man, I hate my generation. Well-grounded kid. Well, we found the recession, ladies and gentlemen. I'll cease to explore it. We'll talk about something else tomorrow.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
We are in a transition year in the housing market. And what do I mean by transition year? For the first time in many years, there are a lot of homes available for sale. At the same time, there are a lot of would-be home buyers that are sitting on the sidelines not willing to buy. Why? Well, number one, interest rates are much higher than they've been in recent years, around 7% plus or minus. Second, the sellers of homes are not willing at this point to accept lower prices for their homes than what they thought they were worth. What will happen as we move into next year is you have what's known as price capitulation. That's where sellers say, well, I guess nobody's going to buy my home at what I thought it was worth. And they'll become more realistic about prices. And then buyers will start being willing to buy. I'm Clark Howard.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 3 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. The godfather of heavy metal is dead.
Ozzy Osbourne was the demon-invoking lead singer of one of the biggest heavy metal bands, Black Sabbath. Osbourne would later reveal himself to be a sweet father on the family's reality TV show, The Osbournes. His death comes just weeks after his final farewell show in England earlier this month, the first time in 20 years that the band performed together.
CBS's Matt Piper reports in 2020, Osbourne revealed he had Parkinson's disease. He was 76. 93 degrees in Atlanta, topping out in the mid-90s today, but not quite as hot tomorrow. Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. As Hispanic journalist Mario Guevara remains in immigration custody in Georgia, there are calls today for his release.
Catherine Guevara says her family is reeling from the continued detention of her father Mario at a South Georgia ICE facility.
My mom is exhausted. My brothers and I feel like we're stuck in a nightmare.
Guevara was arrested while covering an immigration protest in June, but the charges were dropped. ICE officials appealed a judge's bond order for his release, so he remains in custody.
He belongs home with us, and we won't stop fighting until he is.